Okay, here we are today. We are joined by Deven Goodwin, an Army veteran, a Army combat veteran. He was in the Korengal Valley for and adjacent areas for 15 months with the 191st. Is that how you guys say it?
Yep, 191st Cavalry Regiment out of 173rd.
Okay, and yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I'm a Marine. Our shit is easy, or else we'd forget, and then we would all end up in the wrong spot.
You guys have big numbers for your
Yeah,
jobs. I don't even
Oh,
like
always, dude.
1875
yeah.
Bravo
All, all, all of
Delta. I
all,
don't know what's going on.
all of our shits, you can do it on one hand. I'm in what unit? I'm in 1-4.
Yeah.
It's
My
like,
job is
No, see,
0352. That's the actual like that. 0352 is literally the smart Marines. That's what that's defined as.
but my job, my actual MOS was 19 Delta Cavalry Scout. So that was my entire list. That was my whatever. But yeah, it was funny though because when I first joined, I was stationed in Schweinfurt, Germany. When I first got all the basic training, which I did in Fort Knox, Kentucky. And as you know, cavalry is joined with armor. So that's just how it generally goes. And then in the Army sense of the world is cavalry's with tankers. We had Bradleys and all that stuff. So when I first got in, when I got my first unit was Schweinfurt, Germany. I was at Con Barracks. There's Con and Ledward. And it was 1-4 cav. It was quarter. They called it quarter cav. So it was part of the Big Red One. And as soon as I got there, the guys had just came back from Iraq, and so they were filling up their ranks and all that. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be cool. Get to drive a Bradley, get to hopefully drive a tank, fuck shit up. But 3 months in, literally 3 months in, they said, hey, we had a huge squadron fucking meeting saying, hey guys, check it out. We got task. Big Red One is moving back to the States. So what we're gonna do is anyone that wants to stay with Big Red One can go back to the States. With is actually at Fort Knox, Kentucky, where I did basic training. That's where Big Red One, the main unit is. So they said you can go back there, or you can stay here, become 173rd, and go airborne. And I'm like, dude, I get to jump out of fucking airplanes. I'm staying. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
because they deactivated after World War II, right? Or it was,
yes,
yeah.
So the concept of 191, they had a whole idea of it. They wanted to try a new concept from that time was infantry and scouts together. They want a light unit with reconnaissance and infantry together. So
They still do the cavalry, and I love how they do the. You weren't on a horse. That's bullshit.
No,
That's fucking bullshit, Army. What the fuck?
I was in a Humvee though, but very up armored for half the time at least. But no, they they wanted to test us out, and actually we're the first unit to try cavalry and infantry together again in combat since the first time since World War. So, and we blew it out of the water, dude. We like I said, our unit was responsible for dropping the most ordnance any regiment in the history of being in Afghanistan had dropped. And that's everything from 155 to 120 to 60 millimeters to the Wart 10s to F-16 dropping 2,500 pound bombs, 500 pound bombs, 2,000 pound bombs, 500 pound bombs. We dropped it all. Anything
Dude,
we
that
could
hurts
when we
my
got in fire.
pride.
So.
That hurts my pride as a Marine. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's. I looked this shit up before we even get started. That's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys were fighting on 90-degree angles like the whole time. Like it was a fucking 90-degree angle. I look at all the pictures. I've done countless hours of research, and I'm like, these people look sad and miserable.
Dude, watching Restrepo made me tired. I was like, Jesus, my fucking legs hurt. I like just watching these dudes walk up the fucking, because Restrepo's, is at the top of the fucking. So they had to carry everything up there. I was like, fuck that, dude. Like, I'm glad.
Well, the funny thing is, though, that which you guys don't understand either, though, you had Restrepo, but above that, there was another little reconnaissance post that they send like 4 or 5 guys up there to overwatch Restrepo.
Yeah,
there's a whole nother little thing that's even further up that the guy they don't really talk about, but yeah, there's.
Did you guys get oxygen? That's really fucking high. Like,
no.
we got to get the link to Google to the fucking pictures, dude.
Well,
People need to see this shit.
You know, the funny thing is, dude, when we first flew into the zone, right? We flew into Jalalabad. So, okay. So, I mean, I know you guys want to do an interview here. I'll just tell you a little background how we went in there. So, we were in Germany. We left Germany. We went to Tajikistan. We went from Tajikistan to Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Oh, sorry. We went to Kuwait to all that. Anyways, we got off the plane at Jalalabad, dude, in, I believe it was July, and the fucking flight deck, the runway was 110, 120 fucking degrees. We had guys literally falling out 50 meters to the tent. It was so fucking hot. We're like, holy shit, dude, this is going to suck. Like, welcome to Afghanistan, guys. It's not what they said it was. It's going to be mountainside and cool. No, it sucked. So.
Yeah, I've heard that from, you know, most of the Marine Corps was basically down in Helmand and in the desert areas. But I actually didn't know that the first American unit, I guess, non-special forces unit up into the Korengal Valley was a Marine unit of 3-6. And they were too small. Like they didn't have, like, literally they could have put a battalion up there and they would still not have enough manpower.
My homies from 3-6 there from my hometown.
3-6
they were actually there. I'm gonna fucking drink to you guys right now.
3-6 is the unit that Joey and we replaced in Iraq for our first deployment, and they were a lot worse for the wear than when they got there, because they did like Afghanistan and then Fallujah, and then I've lost track after that. But
one dude blew his brains out before I got there. It was crazy.
See, the Marines with us, dude, you guys, the Marines were mostly down Jalalabad, Kabul, Bath, Bagram Air Force Base, doing areas of that. And the thing I was telling Andrew was, like, you know, we had Marines, but they weren't Marine units. We had literally a gunny sergeant and a major, two guys together doing missions and teaching the ANA, the Afghan National Army, and the Afghan National Police. You know, two of my best friends was actually a Marine at the time from a different unit, was a gunny sergeant and a major. Awesome dudes. They actually went on missions a lot with us because they're like, can we go with you? Can we please get the hell away from these people and just, can we go on mission with you guys? Like, yeah, dude, come on, come with us.
Were they JTACs or was it?
No, they were, his normal job, the E7 was a reconnaissance sniper, and the major was some command, did something with the Marine. I can't remember what he did, but he basically, they tasked them out to do these little specific things out these different FOBs, because, you know, how the FOBs worked up there was, I was at FOB Naray, and we were kind of more established than, you know, Restrepo, Keating, and stuff like that. We had a helipad. Keating had a helipad too, but we had 3, because, like I said, when we first went to Afghanistan, I was part of Charlie Troop. Well, we got redone because we did so damn good in the little training thing, that stupid training, you know, before you deploy or whatever, that they said, our commanders said, hey, we want your platoon, especially for QRF, for the entire squadron. We want you guys to be ready to go anytime, anywhere, drop in, fucking helo in, jump in. We don't care. We need you to be ready for the entire battalion. And our whole section was about 300 kilometers long within the Korengal Valley. It reached all the way from Jalalabad to where we were at FOB Naray, and even further than that, because we did a checkpoint delta that was 40 more kilometers away from that, was literally on a bridge that was the turning point.
Say 40 clicks?
Clicks, yeah, 40 clicks from FOB Naray, but there's a river and there's a bridge, and we literally could see, we were looking at Iran. That was Iran across the river. We were right on the border of Iran and Afghanistan. So we had people coming from Iran, bringing weapons, bringing ammo, bringing money, bringing all that stuff. So we made this checkpoint to cut their ties, because that was the main bridge for them to come over.
So you were operating 25, basically 40 clicks. This is drunk math, but about a 25-mile radius. Is that what we're?
40 clicks. My
1.5, 1.6 is a mile.
Well, no. That's the I'm adding that to the like 200 clicks that our whole regiment
Whoa.
did. You know, we had to keep
Shit.
so we were spread thin. We had a platoon all the way down in Jalalabad. We had a platoon a little bit further
But- and
up.
Army
So-
platoons are like way smaller than Marine Corps platoons, are they not?
Army platoons. How many did we have in our platoon? Shit, we had two. It's supposed to be 40, but we had I believe 32
I think it's,
people.
it's
That's a section in the Marine Corps.
No,
That's a
sorry.
section.
I'm sorry. We had 4 trucks, 5 trucks. We had 25 people. That's what we had.
So less than 4 fire. Wait. Oh God, I'm math from Marines. Hoorah! So we're less than eight fire teams. Less than 8 fire teams.
Yeah.
That's not a real. That in the Marine Corps, that's like a section.
yeah, that's half of a weapons
section.
platoon.
Yeah, that's
Well, like I
half
said,
of a weapons platoon.
They cut our people too, though. When we weren't, like I said, a standard thing. We, for some reason, it was weird how they worked it out with this whole new 191 thing. You know, you had a squad of infantry and a squad of cavalry, and then you had your platoon sergeant, which was normally ours started out as, like I said, special forces. He came to regular army, do one more deployment, and then he got out. Best man in the world of any military, and I gotta give a shout out. His name is Sergeant First Class Kevin Murray, one of the best fucking men, period, to be in the uniform, knowledgeable, just one honest, complete dude that I look up to even now that we still talk. You know, I will always look up to that man. Best person in the world. But he was infantry, and then we had a scout platoon leader. So it was kind of weird how they did the mix up. You know, they were still trying to get the feedback. They wanted to know how it worked out and stuff like that. So
Hang on, bro. Hang on. I'm registering. That's a lot of information. Very quickly. I love how quickly you put it. See how efficient you still are at presenting information. And I want to slow down for the viewers.
Okay.
That is like I mean, that is a very few amount of men. No, we'll put it this way. Everybody get on Google. Just fucking pay attention to what the shit you just said.
Put it this way.
Few amount of men. Yeah.
I'll put you in this perspective. Out of 25 men, we would be fighting anywhere of upwards of 100 to 200 Taliban at a time. I'll put in that numbers right there. I mean, if you can imagine 200 people standing, you have 25 men with guns that are shooting back.
Which is difficult on open terrain, and then you add in the sheer drops and the fact that this is their home, this is their home. You know, in Restrepo they show, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up because that's my only point of reference. But in Restrepo they show, you know, some Taliban footage that they had found, and you're watching these dudes carrying dishkas up this hill, and they're just. And then
they're badasses, dude. If you're Taliban watching this, you're badass too, bro. We don't.
I'm not gonna say that, but
they were badass. From what I
go.
Here's the thing.
Go and die, but
they in America.
You know, you gotta check it like this though. Any warrior that puts on a uniform or a warrior period of ancient times to now, you will always have a respect of your enemy because you can't discredit your enemy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
just say, you know, I'm gonna say we fought against some great men, you know, or great guys.
Right.
We did.
That's what one thing I was gonna ask was, do you find a respect for the enemy because they chose to stand and face you, instead of like my hierarchy of like the enemy would be suicide bombers are the lowest. Then you have IED people that put in IEDs. And then you have the guys that will actually stand and charge you and be willing to look you in the eyes as they're being shot at and they're shooting back at you.
You know, most of my experience, we had one close call. There's a place called Garadash. It was like you were saying, 90 degrees. It was literally one road in for about 25 clicks. That was literally 45. And there's one road in, one road out. And we call it the gauntlet because anytime you go on there, you're getting shot at. Didn't matter what time of day, when, what, who, what, where, what. You're getting shot at. They were just guys waiting. And we call it the gauntlet because, hey, we're going through the gauntlet today, guys. Get ready. You know, fucking get some extra ammo, get some tears, pray to God, do what you got to do, but we're going through. And you just knew we're getting shot at. You know, we had our little cheat sheets on our maps and our gunners, you know, like for call out for hot points so we can start calling for fire immediately. As soon as that first round hit, dude, you're calling for fire. Boom, 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 boom. You know, hit the hot spots. But yeah, I mean, in retrospect, suicide bombers, I believe it. I know it's going to sound weird, but in any form that we know the right army, and what I mean by that is we have Geneva codes. We fight by an honor. We fight by a code by law. You know, for the regular army, special forces can do what the fuck they want. They have no Geneva code, even though when they say they do, they don't. You know, so whatever. You know, I've seen that firsthand. But for me, I have a respect for that the Taliban and the true Taliban. You know, not this new stuff. When we were there, the Taliban, if you look back in history, was against the Russians. They had a cause, they had a purpose, they were defending their country, and you know, even if you take the holy and political stuff out of it, I believe they were fighters for the country, and I respect that because I was a fighter for my country, so having to be on their turf. Their tactics worked great. They knew how to have their little PKM and small arms guys with rocket launch guys with small, you know, they fought valiantly and brilliantly, but we fought better. You know, and that's all what comes down to is just training. We trained hard, and like my platoon sergeant used to say, you know, the best quote ever, and I use this quote all the time when I tell soldiers and talk to soldiers, like, you know, really hone in on your training, because when you're in training, it's a one-way highway. The only difference from what you do from training here and training downrange is nothing. It only becomes a two-way highway. There's bullets coming back at you. You train as you fight. And I tell you right, we trained hard until we deployed, and that first firefight we ever got in, we did exactly how we trained, and it just came as second nature. And the only difference was that rounds were coming in. That was it. Nothing was different.
How long were you in country until your first contact?
3 months. Actually, I remember the very first, 3 months. We just got there, and it was kind of, everyone's really anticipating and waiting. And, you know, we heard from because we replaced 10th Mountain Division where we were. That was who was there at the time when we came in and we replaced. And, you know, it's like, first question out of anyone's head, did any of you guys die? Well, you know, we had a couple people die here, blah, blah. Okay, where's the hot spots? You know, hot spots here and all that. What did you encounter? How did you encounter? You know, just filling the information knowledge of knowing before you go. We only had a week with these guys, you know. It's like, give me all the information you got. I want a year's worth of fucking information in 1 hour, you know. Tell me, let's go. Show me on map. Tell me, you know. So, yeah, but the first firefight was 3 months.
And was that, were you close to a, or why did it take so long? I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, but why was it? You know,
we did, and our first fire was in the gauntlet. That's where, because when we first got there, they had a green zone. They had made it green, you know, the entire area. So we just patrolled the green zone, and for us, there was an ODA about 15 clicks from us. There was an ODA camp that was a Special Forces, CIA, some Delta Force guys and all that were operating stuff, because they were operating from there into Iran. Supposedly, not supposed to know that, but basically that's what they were doing.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you know, not doing that type of stuff. But so between us, there was an ODA camp, and they were keeping it green, and they're keeping it safe and all that. So our first firefight was that's where most of our firefights was in the gauntlet before we started doing other stuff for Restrepo, for Avalanche, for, you know, certain missions like that we get called upon to go help out with. But for our normal daily tasks, that's where our focus was, to get that a green zone, because up above that was a known town that was just harboring Taliban and was bringing weapons and all that stuff from Iran. Like, it was a gateway. It was a straight shot gateway where they were hubbing, you know, bringing HVTs, ammo, bringing in money, bringing in documents, bringing in all the illegal shit from that area, and we were trying to get to that zone, to that place, and actually Keating, they were way up there, and they were trying to work their way down to get to that. We were trying to get to that same place, and it was just a constant fucking just shit show of firefights.
So it was basically it sounds like it was like that was the ant nest, and as you got closer to it, you would just ungodly amounts of shit would come your way.
Yeah, I mean, they went to the extremes of blowing rocks in the road so big that it took you a minute to even blow the rocks up to continue on, so they could radio in, "Hey, the Americans are coming! Hide your shit, or hide, or get ready to fight."
So it was a tactical defense. They put up a tactical defense, which is
big time.
Oh, hold on, Joey, what's up? Timeout? We can't hear you.
Yes, apologize. That's why. Okay, so now this is not fucking like I've been doing some hardcore research because I've been dying to get you on board with this episode because, okay, the Taliban, motherfucker, I want everybody to go to Facebook right now and go watch the Arabic Nation in Muay Thai and these different fucking things, dude. They're good. And they make me angry when I watch them fucking fight Muay Thai. I watch this Arabic dude fuck this, like, Thailand motherfucker up. There's like one Thailand motherfucker that's fucking up everybody. One Thailand motherfucker. But everybody else is getting fucked up. Iran is, like, top-notch in Muay Thai right now. They are smart. They are, like, dude.
Well,
on some fucking. They're not to be underestimated. They're not what you think.
And what the precursor to the Taliban are, obviously the villagers and the militias and shit. They've been fighting since forever. They've always been repelling invaders.
Yeah.
Russia.
What happened to Russia when Russia tried to fight Afghanistan?
Napoleon.
They left.
They're gone. Yeah. Fuck you. So who's afraid? This is what I want to point to American people. Oh, we're afraid. We're afraid. We're still the fuck. I mean, we're the best fucking country.
We had commanders in the A&A, man, some good high-topping ranking guys, that would run with us. And we had this one guy, he was actually proficient in English. He was very educated. And we did some missions. He goes, "Hey, you see that mountaintop over there?" "Yeah." "That's where I blew a fucking Russian helicopter out of the sky with a Stinger missile that you guys gave us from the CIA. I was like, "Oh, that's right." The dude pulls up a belt buckle of a Russian belt buckle because, "Yeah, I took this off a soldier I killed." I'm like, "Dude, you're a badass, dude." Like, and he's like, "We've been fighting in these mountains for centuries, dude." Not centuries, but like 30, 40, 50 years, for years.
This is
this is our backyard. He goes,
"This is no shit. This ain't Call of Duty."
Yeah. No,
this ain't fucking Halo. These motherfuckers are badass, dude. And I hate, and I'm not. I love thy enemy, but I wanted to piss upon their culture, being my American ways. But I've watched their culture. I've actually studied their culture the last since we started doing this podcast, and I got shit on them, dude. They're good, man. They're fucking good.
And I don't want to. I'm not discrediting the Army of the United States Army. Okay, or sorry.
Hell no. You took it to them, bro.
But
you took it to them.
If we didn't have air support, and we had to fight these gentlemen on the ground, I don't think we would survive. And I tell you, the biggest thing is why is because
you're in their
their country. That's their backyard. They know the caves. They know the ins and outs. We wouldn't if we didn't have night vision and and thermals and helicopters and UAVs and stuff. If we just went in there blindly, it'd be a different story. It'd be a complete different story. These men are smart, and that's the thing. A lot of people, when people are like, "Oh, they're just ragheads," they're not dumb. They're not stupid people.
That's what I want to fucking point out. Thank you for saying that.
Well, that's
they're not bad people, man.
Because like people don't fucking get it, man. Like if they were to come here, sure they'd get fucked up, but you're in their fucking turf, and they're not stupid people. They're thousands upon. They're like the earliest cultures of mankind that have fucking survived.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and this is just my discovery, that my admiration for my homies that went there. It's just like, Jesus fucking... It didn't register as a kid. When I was supposed to go there, it didn't register. it is like I'm studying it now. I'm like,
Well, we spent so much time focused on Al Qaeda, which is basically it seems like they're like the minor league team of the Taliban because they weren't organized. They weren't, I mean, in, their 2003, 2004, I'm sure they were more organized, but they would, they were more hit and run. They would come out, pop off a few rounds, run away. The Taliban was like, dude, we're going to take your fucking outpost. We are going to overrun you. We are going to launch a strategic attack.
Well, history, though, if you look, the funny thing is, dude, I got some stories that I just want to point out here that, people are probably not going to like, but I think it's important for the information to people understand. Back when the Russians were there, yes, CIA secretly gave Taliban money and Stinger missiles and ammo and weapons, all that, to fight a secret war against the Russians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe a little training.
Yeah.
Maybe a little training.
They know. It's out in the air. People know.
We know that.
I can tell you two things. We've killed individuals. We went to their bodies, and they are not of Afghanistan residents. They are more of a Chechnya or Chester redhead with 3 different currencies on them, which would include American dollars. Over there it's called rubies, and then Iranian money. I forgot what they call it over there. I think it might be rubies too or something, but you could tell it's from Iran. But every time that we would seize their weapons or anything like that, they were brand new Russian weapons. Brand new. And then after a firefight, we went up to the areas that we got shot at and all that, and we found brand new Russian nose caps for RPGs.
Yeah, and
now you can't, I mean, I get it, and I know that the Russians, they left in a hurry. They seized hella ammo and all that, but you can't tell me from 30 years, okay, even being in a bunker, that a brand new shiny AK-47 or brand new shiny nose cap for an RPG with Russian lettering right on it was left. You're not gonna tell me. I'm not gonna believe that, and I believe in my own conspiracy, in my own opinion, that the Russians are doing the same thing to us now as we did to them. It's a secret war. It's always has been. Russia and America has always been a secret war.
Well, and
motherfucker, if you're American, you're gonna push up right goddamn now because we gotta stay strong, bitches.
And
we gotta fucking stay strong, dude. We do.
And
push right now. I'm gonna do some push-ups.
In the documentary called The Hornet's Nest, they come across a cache where it's literally they pull out a bunch of RPGs and they go, this shit just rolled off the assembly line. Like this shit, because if you look around, there's nothing shiny, there's nothing new. It's all used or homemade shit. And then when you get this stuff that's clean, and it's still got packing grease on it, you know that shit is coming in, and it came in within the past couple of days.
Oh yeah.
Just the amount of dirt that's on everything, and that includes I would say the whole Middle East. Like you could take a brand new anything you want, and within a day, just from sweat and shit, it's gonna be dirty. You're gonna get dirt caked everywhere on you. That's how shit is in these areas. And when you see something new, that's when you go, that's not supposed to be here. Yeah. And it's whether it's Chinese or fucking Iranian or all that, it all comes from fucking Russia.
So
it all
what we're getting at is politics and news is a lie. Superpower countries are going to these little countries and fighting each other, and they're sending us poor people. That's what I believe.
It's a war within a war, man.
Yeah.
It's a war within a war. Their battle, when I went to college, I wrote a paper. It's called the Suit and Tie War. And it was for my English majors class. And basically, I just told how it was. Like, there's three wars. You got the ground war, which you see in Afghanistan and Iraq. You got the politician war, the suit and tie war, that are sending these young men and women into battlefields for their gains. And then you got the third war, which is even higher from them. Then you got countries that are backing each other for this. There's so many. I can only say from my point of view, my ground level war, what I went through, but there's more to it. There always will be more to it. And as a little guy, as like 98, 99% of the American people, we'll never see that aspect. We'll never see it because it doesn't exist. So,
Or your story is ignored, but it's not today.
Okay, so let's get back to the topic at hand, which would be, you know, I'm fascinated since reading the book War about Restrepo and the KOP and stuff like that, and this valley, which is, I believe it's like 6 miles long, and it's like a quarter mile or something wide. It's not even like it, but
it's in the Nuristan National Forest. That's what you're looking at, and yeah, it's a little bit bigger than that. People that I know what the map, like if you Googled it, it's going to tell you, oh, it's only 6-7 miles long, but it goes bigger if you really look at it. But yeah, essentially, you're about right. That's only how wide it really is. But it's in the Nuristan province.
I didn't realize either that, and I learned this from the book, was that where Operation Red Wings took place, which is, Lone Survivor, was basically like one ridge over. Like it was like in the next valley. And just thinking of like how close, I guess, support is to realize that even they couldn't get there was like, holy shit, like this is, and, thinking, oh, mountains, because people think Afghanistan, they think desert. But they don't realize that it's a fucking forest. Like they're talking about the, in the OP called the lumber yard, because that is, what they ran out of the valley was lumber, until they made it illegal. And they would basically stack these fucking logs up, and you could shoot anything through it, and it's not even going to touch the stack. So, and that combined with the guys that are fucking from there and are defending because they have a tribal code of, hey, this old dude told me that I hate these guys, so I hate these guys, which is evident in Restrepo. I think it's on day 2 of Rock Avalanche when the elders declare jihad on the valley. And then bam, they're getting attacked, and that's when when they try to snatch the dude, and
Sergeant, Staff Sergeant, I know his name. Yeah, they killed and tried to snatch him, and his sergeant had to shoot the sergeant shot the dudes. They were ballsy enough. Yeah, the contact was so close, dude, that they were throwing hand grenades.
Yeah, and the sergeant was awarded the Medal of Honor for what happened that day.
Yep.
Because it was literally he came through a clearing and they were dragging his fucking brother away, and he was like nope, and he had to
he murfs all of them, dude. He did. Yeah, his story was incredible. He said all he remembers saw what he saw. He put his gun up and he didn't stop shooting. He said blood was everywhere. But yeah, I commend that guy a lot, dude, because
absolutely.
I have experience with Sergeant Fritchie. We had to go find his body. He was shot, and the guys that was Bravo troop, and they were getting overran where they had to make the unfortunate decision that, hey, we're not supposed to leave a brother behind, but we'll die. And they literally said, sorry, Sergeant, we have to go. And he's already dead, but they took off, and we were called in to recover his body, which we had to actually have help from the 503rd or 502nd. Yeah, 502nd infantry guys would come and fly in too and walk the entire mountainside that they were just gone a firefight. And if you guys know what Spooky is, with your viewers, if you don't know what that is, that's an AC-130 gunship that is heavily armored and heavily ammoed up with 130. Wait, was it? Sorry, I gotta remember. 40 Mike, a chain gun, and a 140 cannon. I believe it's a 140 cannon. We Winchester 2 of them when we went in there. Winchester means black on ammo. Black on ammo means they have no more ammo to shoot, and they carry a lot of ammo. We Winchester 2 of them to be able to get in there and get his body back. That's how much enemy that day that we fought up there in the Keating and Strepo area that we fought that day. We had our commander, which I stayed at, Fob Naray, is now called Fob Bostic for our the Barber Troops commander who was shot 50 meters away by an RPG, blew his body completely gone. We found his dog tags hanging in a tree, and we could only literally gather his remains in a small ammo can to bring back to his family. It was gory, it was shitty, it sucked, but one thing that was kind of awesome though to see was how they respected the body. They took everything, took his weapons, took his armor, took his boots, took all of his personal belongings, but they did cross his arms and they did cross his legs and they did close his eyes. They respected the body, which that's one thing that they have a belief in. They respect the body, and the sad thing is that they had to do the whole grab the guy, roll over, because they didn't know if they booby trapped him or not, which they didn't, thank God. But he was put in a body bag and he was placed in my vehicle, and we drove him back to the place so we could give his honors and get him back home where he needed to be. But that was a pretty sad day. That was probably the biggest firefight of our entire time there, and that was mostly Bravo Troop. That wasn't even us. Like I said, that was who we had to go replace because they just lost their commander, they lost a sergeant, and that was over probably 1,000 fighters that day. And so, I'm not exaggerating on that. There was about 1,000 fucking people out there that were shooting. Once again, a platoon of maybe 30 was up against, and that they held their ground. They had 9 wounded that day, 2 KIA, 9 wounded. They did the best they could. We came in, we dropped hammers, we blew the fucking shit out of everything that moved. Didn't matter, that was our mission, just go get those guys out of there, and we did.
So what is it like to have to be in the mindset where not if the shit hits the fan, but when the shit hits the fan, that really the only support you can get is from the air?
When we moved, we didn't go anywhere unless we had air on station, because we knew like I said, it took us 3 months to get our first firefight, and after that, we were constantly getting firefights, and so our platoon was tasked to do QRF for all the other guys. So down helicopters from different units, you name it, we did it. So we always had either an F-16, F-22, A-10s, Apaches, or something above us because we knew we're going to need them. And we also had our fire guys with the 155s ready to go too in our direction, ready at any moments to drop around, where we needed it. So
yeah, so because in my experience, at least, it was, we were in outside of Fallujah in Iraq, and we knew that if shit hit the fan, we could always call. We had other sections at our FOB or whatever that could get there. It would take them a while to get there, but we knew they could get there. So I could imagine knowing like that, if.
Well, the nature of the beast of Afghanistan, there was always something on station, on air. There's not one time where there was nothing. If one landed, another one went up just to patrol, because at all times, because just, unlike Iraq where you have cities and you have flat and you have dirt, this was mountain range. This was mountains, beyond valleys, beyond caves, beyond. So their whole goal, the Air Force goal was, we need to have something always flying, even if it's a UAV with a missile on it or with a bomb on it. Something's got to be in the air for these guys, because shit's going to pop off, and that's how you're going to win the fight here. You're not going to win with small arms. I mean, we did, but how to stop a firefight in Afghanistan? You bomb the shit out of them. They'll stop firing at you, I promise. And then most times how we stopped a firefight was drop a 500-pound bomb of where we see them shooting at, and they stopped shooting immediately because they knew air was in the air, and they stopped shooting because they know they were fucked. They went into hiding, So, and I did a lot of research on Iraq and Afghanistan, and I will honestly say it is 2 completely different wars. They want to call it Operating Enduring Freedom, and then Operation Freedom, OEF, Operating Freedom, and all that, but you could almost separate the wars. They're 2 different wars. You don't fight the same way. It's totally different tactics, different things you do. So, when a lot of people say, oh, it's the same time frame. Yeah, but it's a complete different war. It's not the same.
Yeah, there was, we were in a very urban area. We did urban training. We did everything was focused on being around a lot of people all the time and stuff like that. And then the flip side is Afghanistan. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and basically, like, for people out there, you can imagine the Rocky Mountains, and there's a village
Times
here.
10.
Yeah, there's villages down there that literally fuck the government. They say, you know, the government has no control over us, and it's the oldest dude or the dude with the longest beard is fucking in charge, and whatever he says goes.
Straight tribal laws. That where we were, there was no government influence, whatever. It was by the book, tribal laws. My son wants to marry your daughter, so I'm going to give you 12 goats and give you some money and let them be happy on their way. Yeah, there was no government influence whatsoever where we were.
And if you step on the wrong toes, they will basically bring the mercy of their God down on you. That, you know, and
hearts and minds, dude.
That can be shown in it's actually a really kind of emotional part, at least for me in Restrepo, when I think it's the first day of Rock Avalanche, and they accidentally killed 5 civilians because a gunship had come in and done a gun run, chasing legit targets, and
that's pretty much what started it, dude.
And then, unbeknownst to the guys on the ground doing the operation, the tribal leaders declared jihad. And the next day is when shit hits the fan, is when they're literally surrounded by the Taliban.
Yeah, their whole mission on the Avalanche was just go in and talk to them, dude. It wasn't again a firefight. It wasn't to search and destroy. It was literally they were going to an untouched region of a town that they wanted to talk to the elders for, but it was still in the red zone. So they had to, you know, we were on one mountainside overwatching them. They had gunships, and that's because of that civilian casualties that basically what popped everything off. They said, no, you know, you kill our fucking brother, you kill our uncle, whoever, we're gonna fuck you up. And that's the way it works in Afghanistan. That's the sad part. It's not like, you know, another guy. Well, a lot of people think is, oh, you know, you play Call of Duty, whatever. He's got a uniform on, and you kill that guy. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't know who's shooting at you. Most of the times, like the real terror or Taliban are wearing man dresses, dude. Or sometimes they have camouflage on. They don't have a uniform, so you don't know who you can trust. So how you trust them? Hearts and minds. You give them a bunch of blankets, give them a bunch of food, give their kids a bunch of school supplies, you know, be nice to their kids and all that. And that's how that's the difference of getting killed by them and for them to give you information. Because I can tell you right now, it's the same thing. The Taliban are going to them saying, hey, you know, fuck these American guys. How about I give you all this stuff and we'll give you protection and you fight for us. It's a mind game. It's a heart game, you know, heartstrings. And that's what a lot of our missions were to go talk to these elders and give them stuff and say, hey man, we want to help you. We want to build for you. We want the same things, you know, and they'll be like, well, the Taliban came over and promised us all this stuff. Why should we trust you? Well, shit, dude, you know, we'll give you money, you know, like we'll give you this and that. And that was the balance. That was the hardest part, I think, of the war for us was, okay, we're going to this village, dude. It was green last week. It could be red. Get ready. You know, we don't know. And we ran into that. We ran into going to green zones. Now it's red. They're fucking trying to put IEDs out on a 1-lane road and try to kill us. It's like, oh, what did we do wrong? And that's the question you have to ask yourself. What did we do wrong? You know, and it's sad. That's not how it's supposed to be, but that's the type of war that you're fighting in Afghanistan that no one really wants to show. Like media doesn't want to show that, but that's the true nature of the beast. You know,
and for people out there that, you know, this isn't connected to what you went through, but you know, I brought up earlier Operation Red Wings, and if you want to see how fucking serious these people are about their tribal law, you know, look into Marcus Luttrell. They invoked the code of Pashtunwali, and they said, we will all fight to the death for this American. And even the Taliban was like, okay, we get it. Like it is not something that you can change your mind on. That is your word, that is your law, that is your code. And basically, if you're to change your mind, you no longer have any power. Mm-hmm. You lose all your credibility and shit.
Well, the Taliban would fuck up too, though. They did check in the gauntlet. They would do checkpoints and rob people of money and stuff like that, and they'd come down to us like, "Hey, these motherfuckers, they robbed them. I know about this leader, and I know where he's at right now." Oh, you do? Awesome. Let's go. And sure as shit, the information was good. There's the HVT. Boom. So
was that actually? That's here's my point. Here's my argument. It's like shit. When one Marine does something, the whole Marine Corps is at fault. So this one or Black Lives Matter. There's a group of Black Lives Matter. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No politics. Find a different fucking
no.
analogy.
I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about politics. I'm going to keep the same analogy. I'm talking about there's a group of Black Lives Matter that has the funding for all these buses and all this other shit. But there's the videos you see on YouTube of these people screaming Black Lives Matter. Are they part of that group, Black Lives Matter, or are they?
No, you got different groups. I know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have.
That's what I'm saying.
You have Group A that's in it for themselves. They're gonna favor both parties. They're gonna milk it till they die. They're gonna get best of both worlds.
Right. So
then you got the other side that's going to be like, I'm American only, and then you got the other side that says I'm Taliban only. So yeah,
right.
Definitely do. You got that power.
So there's all this shit that they. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying is like we all need to tread fucking lightly. Everybody needs to start fucking treading lightly with.
It sounds like it's like it's a very fucking intense chess game because you're trying to win them over to your side, but you make the wrong move and you're gonna push them and all of their friends to the other side.
Right, but it's
Hearts
just fucked up how wars work. I think about all the badass people and we've had on here, and then now you're on here and you're talking about.
I'm a war buff, man. I love war history. I know a lot about war history. I love war history, everything about war. These wars. Now, initially when we went to Iraq, that was a true war. And what I mean by a true war, you had an enemy with a uniform. You knew who to fight. You knew how to, where tactics were the same. Back in World War I, World War II, it was a uniform against a uniform. This isn't a uniform against a uniform.
Yeah.
This is not a normal fight. This is a true hearts and I'll reiterate it all the time. It's a hearts and mind battle, like you said, Andrew. It's a chess game, because if you fuck up one time, the entire damn town is against you.
Yeah,
and not against you like they're gonna shoot at you, no, but they're gonna say, hey, Taliban, they're moving right now, or they're getting ready to gear up. In Afghanistan, you are constantly being watched. If you don't think you are, you're stupid. Because you are. Because we had guys on the chatter, we had our translators saying, hey, they see our truck setting up right now. They know we're about to leave. They know we're going north. They know where we're at right now. They knew our move before we knew our own move.
That's
essentially.
What I wanted to bring up too was I think it's called ICOM.
ICOM chatter, yep.
Basically the Taliban's radio waves.
It's basically it's a two-way walkie-talkie. A very powerful walkie. That's all it is. Yeah, it's called ICOM chatter, and and they were smart with that too. They weren't dumb. They would falsify information because they knew that we were listening. They would say, "Hey, we're going to be set up here. We got 200 guys waiting." We're like, "All right, they got 200 guys. We know we're not a fucking soul." They want to see what our tactics would have been. So we did one thing one time. You'd have to do something completely different the next time because you knew they were judging you on your tactics too. How you were, and that's where it comes back to. They were smart. These aren't dumb guys. They've been fighting for years. They do reconnaissance just like how we did. Like after a firefight, 9 times out of 10, we get in a firefight. A dude would be walking down, and you could always tell because he had shoes on. They don't wear shoes. They wear sandals down there. But any fighters you'll know will have shoes on. Walking down, have a couple goats with them, have a stick, and say, "Hey, you guys just got in a firefight. You killed a couple of my goats. Oh, we'll give you some money. Sorry for that." And they always have the same question. "Oh, any of you guys hurt? Did any of you guys die?" They
had the blood money. The blood money's a fucking thing over there.
Yeah,
I like the blood money law.
They want to know. They want to know information if any of us got hurt because if they got hurt, that unit that fired against Americans, they'd get paid even more money.
fucking blood money, dude. That's a
So-
fucking thing in Arabic religion. It makes
Mhm.
sense if you read about it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
Joey, I'm
It's
not
an
sure.
alternative.
Joey, I'm not sure if you remember this, but when we before our first deployment, we were basically backup for 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, who were in Afghanistan.
Yep,
And
I remember that shit.
they took, I think it was estimated to be about 70% casualties. For people that doesn't mean dead. That means wounded
Fucking
or
hurt.
hurt for some reason, and they became combat ineffective.
Well, that's why they were smart about it. Is because like Dad always taught me, like back in the day, dude, it wasn't about killing a motherfucker. It's about costing the other country more money, and they were about that life.
But
they were smart about that shit.
So we had to kind of start learning about the Afghani, basically the game plan, and I believe at that time, special forces, I don't know what kind, but they had found basically like the Taliban rule book, and it basically said in there
Tactics
for
of the Crescent Moon.
Yeah, like we will pay you. If you kill, basically the higher rank that you kill or injure, we'll give you more money. If you hit, a special forces unit, if you hit a infantry unit, if you shoot down a helicopter.
Yeah, that was fifth group. That was fifth group who found it.
It was basically a fucking menu. It was like, oh, you guys need more money, shoot down a helicopter. Oh, you need, find
and video it. That was the biggest thing, and videotape it. Videotape everything so we have more propaganda. And that's another big thing over there, dude. Propaganda.
Who's paying these motherfuckers? It's probably motherfuckers in America, by the way.
Well, you have Pakistan,
you got Russian,
Iran.
Pakistan, Iran,
Russia. Yeah, that's
Russia. There's even ties to China, dude. No one wants to go there, but there's ties to China that there's some money influence there too.
I'd go as far as say it's in America too, dude. I'm gonna stand by that one. There's a little smuggy, just whatever you do.
Oh yeah, dude. Don't ask me about 9/11.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about 9/11 because
we're just some regular motherfuckers that are doing the dog and pony show. Yeah, this is a dog and pony show to me, and it's like I'm not against war per se. Like I'm about, but it's a lot of bullshit, and I'm sorry if you guys disagree with me, but it is straight up fucking a lot of bullshit.
I'm pro-war or anti-war, but pro-warrior. We need a warrior culture, but we should have them to be here to defend us, not to attack.
Quit putting us in shitty. We just want to trust people. We just want to trust you.
For the love of God, start a war in a nice place.
Jesus fucking with a decent climate.
Why can't we invade like central fucking Mexico or something? Like a nice resort town.
Hey, don't put it with the way the cartels are going, dude. It probably soon.
That's true.
Yeah, they're smart too. They're fucking organized as shit. And it's not gonna
dude. They're more organized in the police in their own army. Okay, because they have half, if not more, of those motherfuckers on their payroll. So it's that would be a war that I would actually have to say I'm sorry I'm stepping out of, because that would be beyond.
Dude,
horrible, dude.
I can't even. Dude, my Mexican brother's dog. I can't even fathom, dude. I ain't even going there, man. Yeah. I just I would kill the white people over my Mexican brethren. I hate to break it to you, white people, but I fucking love my Mexican brethren. All right.
Okay, so let's get back.
What else do you guys want to know?
Let's get to your personal experiences. So you. What is it like? What's the feeling like, of you're hearing shit over ICOM and you're like, okay, they're gearing up for something, because, and you can see, again, I'll bring it up in the documentary, they're talking, 38 mortars, 70 rifles, 150 rounds were brought into the valley today. What is it like when you can basically, do the math and be like, holy shit, they're stocking up. And then knowing that you have to go on patrol, because the flip side, if you don't patrol, you lose all the ground that you have, and in the Marine Corps, we have a saying, it's only clear as long as somebody's in the room. As soon as you walk out of a room, it's no longer clear.
Hey, it was clear from our first truck, and it was not clear from the dust of the last truck. Yep, same thing, dude. It's, like I said, when we walked in, it was green, and it wasn't because of what they did. It was because of what 10th Mountain did, but they hadn't pushed that far yet. By the time we were leaving, we had it very green, but there were still patches of red, zones within that area because they were starting to move. They were trying to take back territory. And with the ICOM chatter, it was, at first it was kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie to you, because they always
real quick. Was that like a mind fuck, like hearing your enemy? Because I could imagine hearing the Al Qaeda in Iraq and just hearing like, oh, we're watching them, because I would just be so fucking paranoid.
Yeah, it definitely gives you an ass pucker of 2.5. 'Cause you're definitely looking around. You're like, man, where are these motherfuckers at, dude? Like they see us, and
no shit hills have eyes.
And it wasn't the fact of like, because you got some ICOM chatter that just be bullshit, like, oh, we see American people, blah blah blah. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. No, they would be specific. They'd be like, hey, we got guys with 5 trucks. They got this on their trucks. They've got, this many people out right now walking aside their trucks, and it was you. You're like, oh shit, dude. Okay, where the fuck are these dudes at? And then like half of the deployment in, you started getting really good of kind of knowing where these spotters would be. You just fucking automatic like, okay, he could be. That's a nice rock right there. There's a nice little black hole right there. You could be looking there. He could be up on that ridge line right there. At first though, you're just like, okay, this dude sees us. What do we do? And it just comes down to, you don't do shit. You just continue on the mission, dude. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it.
Would you guys go out to like kind of find like, if I were the Taliban, this is where I would be. Would you guys try to think like their mentality through their, sort of like kind of try to walk in their shoes?
We wouldn't go. If we thought we saw something, we'd lay down the 120 and just fucking bomb it. And that's what we would do. And because spotters were the enemy still, did not matter. Spotters were considered many, and that was a PID, and we could kill them. And how we killed them? There would be no more icon chatter. It'd be over. It'd be gone. It'd be like, hey, anything on icon? Nope, it's silent. All right, we killed him. We had one guy. It was so funny, dude. Actually, this was probably the best experience. It's funny, dude. We're head up north, and we stop at the ODA camp and all that. We go a little further. And we get out. We do a little patrol. We got a guy say, hey, I spot these people. I spot these Americans. Like, okay, we're being watched again. Blah blah. And so happened this. My buddy of mine hitting the gunner. He goes, hey, I think I saw glint. I think I saw Glint up there. We're like, well, shoot at it. Let's fucking use a 50 cal. Shoot. This dumbass dude on the ICOM is literally walking on the rounds. He goes, the rounds are left of me. Shoot right. Like shoot a little more right. And the rounds are getting closer. Shoot a little bit more, dude. And sure as shit, he hit this certain rock, and the guy comes back. He goes, I'm shot in the leg. On ICOM. And at that point, we're like, all right, let's bomb it. We know where he's at now. And yeah, we dropped a bomb on him, dude, and that was it. It was so funny though, because the translator's like, he said he shot right next to him, left to him. All right, well, shoot right, dude. Shoot a little more right at the rock.
He's fucking
so
it's a real-time feedback target.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was probably one of the funniest things. I had a lot of funny experiences, but that was probably one of the funniest ones. Like this dumbass, and because they know that we can hear them. They know that, Now, could it be him playing? It could have been. I don't know for certain. We didn't get any confirmed, walk on to see if there's a body or whatnot. But pretty much, the man screaming over the ICOM saying his leg was shot seemed pretty real to me, that he was in pain. Like, you can tell when someone's in pain talking, So I think I would like to believe it was real, but there was no confirmed knows of it. So
I don't know if they're that good, man. I said they were good. I was like watching their Muay Thai episodes and shit. When I mean good, I actually see a lot of similarities in America. The men, like in these battles, in these Muay Thai battles, it's a science based. They're a lot of money. There's a lot of effort poured into these men. There's a team building these men up and making them the warriors that they are. They're nothing without their team. They're a team. They're a very organized team. That being said, they don't do what America does and use roids. They don't do.
Well, you don't know that.
I don't know that. I don't know the level of their roid. I know that they're very well calculated. Their weight, everything about them is very well put together. I didn't,
Well, but I think you also have to think that if this person, if you're talking about Muay Thai, if this person is really good at Muay Thai and they have a future in Muay Thai, they're probably not going to join the Taliban.
Right. But they're gathering money and they might be donating to the cause. But
yeah,
never mind that. I'm not getting into politics.
It's kind of like a street gang, right? You have to offer something. You have to, and if that's retribution for killing your uncle, because like we've established, they have a very very strict code that they will go by, and if you offend them, they will fucking turn on you.
Dude, there's like families in America that I could know today that are literally operate the same way. But just saying. But
it's the mob.
It's just a mob. So
the Taliban, they do the same things in Afghanistan. They go to these towns and they say, "Hey, you owe us protection money, or we're going to kill your entire family." It's the same thing, dude. It's the same. There's different levels with the Taliban, dude. You got the straight warriors that been fighting for so long. They believe in what they're fighting, and they're not going to go out and kill their uncle or brother because sometimes, hey, we would get in a firefight, but before we get in a firefight, they would be strict rules of them given. Say, hey, we're about to shoot the Americans, but do not shoot the ANA, the Afghan National Army. He goes, do not shoot them. He goes, just shoot at Americans. That's all we're here for. So there was levels, even hierarchy with them where they're like, dude, we're not going to shoot our own brothers and sisters, brothers down there, even though they're on the other side of the fight. They're still Afghanistan people. They're still Afghanis. We're not going to we're not here to fight them. So we ran into that a couple times, where they wouldn't shoot at ANA, and then you got times where they fucking massacre platoons of ANA. So you had that different levels of Taliban, of hierarchy,
Dude, yeah, and it's just to me, it's kind of a shame, man. It's kind of a fucking shame. Mm-hmm. Like if you and I don't mean to switch gears on the episode, man. I hate to throw this on you, Deven. I love the fucking war story, but like it's just crazy that these dudes, if you'd see them, they, would you share a beer together or whatever they do together, opium, and have a good time with the warriors that not the guys that are calling the shots, but the warriors that you were fucking fighting against. You guys never think about that shit.
You gotta understand, man. After killing people, they had pictures of their family, their wife. They're the same. They are the same as me and you. They have families. They have brothers. They have sisters. They have moms and dads. They're fighting for a cause that they believed in. That's why we all joined the military. We wanted, most of us, I would believe,
we did.
We want to fight for a cause or country, and we all signed the dotted line and said, "Hey, my life is, worth it. It is." And they're doing the same thing. There's no difference between a warrior and a warrior. There isn't. Doesn't matter where you come from. You're always. It's what comes down to that point is who's better, who can aim better, who has more better tactics. I bet you if it was different circumstance, you could have a beer with these guys. You could talk all day long. You'd probably be maybe your best friend, But in the circumstances, it's not. You're in the American Army.
The protection fucking money thing. Like I agree with Trevin when he came on. They're motherfuckers that need to go away, man. I agree with that because you made the decision to go bully some motherfuckers to get money. That's what's great about our country is we actually have fucking rules. We don't blow up mosques. We have rules of engagement. I don't know about so some of the rules of engagement while you were there. We had these. You're talking about the airplanes that come in. They cover every square inch of a football field with the amount of fire that they put out. You were just talking about that. My mic was muted. I was trying to get it in, but my mic was muted.
Oh yeah. That's called we dropped a couple of those. You're not supposed to, but we did. It's basically land strip clearing. Emergency land. It's big fucking 1,000-gallon blimp of gasoline that's dropped out of a C-130, and it just fireballs and clears a whole acre, basically.
And it's not that it's fucking not that sophisticated actually, but yeah.
No, it's not.
like-
It's really not. It's a big balloon full of gasoline with a couple detonators on it. So as soon as it hits, it blows up. That's all it is. But it works.
Right.
You know.
Well, I was going to bring up, a lot of our training is dehumanizing the enemy. Is, like if you think of a target at a shooting range, right? They don't have faces on. They don't have they teach you to shoot at a silhouette, right?
Mhm.
Because when you start realizing, like, holy shit, that guy also has a family, and he's doing what he thinks is right, and I have a family, and I'm doing what I think is right. If those two were to get together, then the people with the fucking money no longer have the power against us, against anybody, because we would be like, holy shit, we are the same, basically. Let's fuck those dudes up.
And I can tell you, the first thing the first time I heard a bullet whiz, in the 3 months, a bullet whizzed by my head, and maybe other people's reaction was different. I don't know, but I tell you, the first emotion that I felt, the very first one, I was fucking pissed. I was angry. I was mad. I was like,
how dare you?
This motherfucker's trying to kill me, dude. And it was that's how it felt. Like when we got in a firefight, it's like, I'm pissed. You're trying to kill me. I'm gonna try to kill you, motherfucker. Like, fuck you guys. No, I'm going home today. You're not. That was the first real raw emotion that I felt getting shot at. And I asked a couple of my other buddies, I'm like, what did you feel? He goes, dude, I was pissed too. I was ready to fucking throw bows, like.
Bro, that's that, and there's nothing fucking wrong with you. Like,
No.
you're going home. What the fuck else you gonna do?
There's a great scene in Restrepo when they're shooting the 240 across the valley, and because they found a spotter, and so they're shooting at him, and you just hear guys yelling, "How dare you try to fucking kill me!"
Mm-hmm.
And it was like,
nobody makes me bleed my own blood, motherfucker.
It becomes personal very fast.
And I'll be honest, I actually haven't seen the documentary yet. I've only seen parts of it. It's still kind of too real for me.
I get that.
I know a lot of guys. I know some of those guys personally. So I really do want to watch the new movie Outpost, because I guess one of the commanders from the actual unit is in that movie. He's an actor now. Lieutenant Adam Nolan, I believe his name was. But I do at some point want to watch it, because I know everyone's dude. If you haven't watched it, why not? It's like, no, it's just, I don't want to relive it because it was shitty, But I'm past the point now. I'm past the point now where I want to watch it, and I want to immerse in it. And
it took me till last night.
That's fucking awesome, dog.
It's
fucking
remember,
awesome that you're there, man. I'm glad to hear you're fucking. You can look at that shit, man.
I remember when it first came out, I got through like 5 minutes of it, and within the first 5 minutes they hit an IED, and then they start taking fire, and I'm like, and that's enough of that. And it took me till last night to watch it, because I was like, holy shit, I want to know about the valley, because since I read the book, which I think kind of desensitized me to a little bit of what was happening, because the book and the documentary go very hand in hand together.
Dude,
but I will say though that it was very respectful of to, instead of showing the footage of a lot of the firefights, they have the guys explain what happened.
Yeah.
Because the only one that they really show is the ambush on Rock Avalanche day 2, and that was because of the KIA that they took. But
yeah, I watched that part when they're having the little meeting beforehand. The staff sergeant there, I watched that part, and then the raw emotion of that was
but
it was real.
There's for people out there, if you want to see every range of emotions, just watch that about 5-minute section, because there's a guy who comes back in, they call him in from security, and they tell him that it's staff, was it Rogel or something like that? He was a sergeant that was
Buck Sergeant. Yeah,
Um,
Rogan or Rogue, yeah, something like that.
but the guy comes in, he asks, "Who is it?" And they tell him, and he goes, "There's no fucking way he's dead," and he starts crying. And I think some people would be like, "Oh my God, this guy's having a breakdown," but in about the span of 30 seconds, he goes from being devastated to kind of accepting it. He says, "Let me see his body," and you see a sergeant. He puts his hand on him, and he goes, "You don't want to do that." And the guy turns back around, and then you see him go back to, "I'm gonna get the motherfucker that did this."
Mm-hmm.
And they
Instantly,
go,
yep.
they go right back to the fight, and it feels like it's like fucking an hour long, but it's probably the span of 30 seconds in real time of him being like, "Who was it?" He cries. He goes, "Let me see him." "You don't want to do that. I'm gonna get this motherfucker."
And and firsthand, man, you go through that that emotion. I've been through myself. It's something you can't explain. It's something that you, only other individuals who've been in that situation can feel that way and know what you're talking about, even without explaining it, because it's not explainable. It's like telling somebody that you can have all 4 seasons in one day. Winter, summer, spring, fall. It's the same thing. You can have all emotions within a 1 minute time frame, and you gotta just wipe it away, and you gotta go back to work. That's it. You get 1 minute. That's why it's called the 1 minute emotion. That's all you get, because if your head's not in the game, you're gonna die.
And that
And
is
you're not.
that
You're not gonna do
You're gonna
good for
look
your
like
soul
your
to
buddy
dinner.
you're gonna look like the guy that you're looking at dead, dude. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want like fuck dying for my goddamn like for me, like I for like like I was like I was like, dude, I'm not dying for my motherfucking country. Fuck dying for this shit. They got me all fucked up if you think I wanna die for this shit. I'm here for Andrew. I'm here for
Mm-hmm.
Joel. I'm here for this, but I don't want to
And
fucking die for him. But I
the
will
funny thing
go.
is, dude, you ask any service person in the service, veteran or now, active, whatever, and they'll tell you the same thing. They don't give two fucks about the country. I'm not saying country's bad.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm
No,
saying. But
fuck you guys. Fuck you and your things.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
Fuck
die
that.
for John, Joe, Bill,
Yeah.
Tom before I say I want to die for America. And
Yeah.
they're all
That's
gonna be
no
the same thing,
shit.
dude. I'd rather
and
go in a body bag to protect you than my country. That's just the way it
Yeah.
is.
but
Yeah. I love my family and I love my friends, but fuck y'all. Because my thought was, dude, I don't want to fucking die for you.
but there's a beauty in the feeling of knowing that if it was me laying there and my buddy is looking at me being like, "I can't believe he's dead," to know that in 30 seconds I'm gonna have a group of fucking killers that are gonna go avenge me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Fucking
yeah, dude.
send me up, dude. I'm happy with that.
And they dropped, dude, being on the other side of the mountain, they dropped everything. They had fucking every gunship you could think. They just dropped ordnance on ordnance on ordnance on ordnance. Dude, I think most of them were black on ammo almost at the end of it, like close to it. They just unloaded, dude. It was for them the most surreal moment of their life, of that mission. That was a big mission. A lot of different components to that mission. You had
The
Overwatch.
most ordnance dropped in the
yeah.
war. Not to bring that back up, but that's in the entire war. You guys dropped it in the most ordnance there was. That
And
is.
at that time period, yes, for our regiment was the most costly. So I say not the most costly. So we made the Army pay a lot of money on
Yes.
ordnance drop. So yes.
Joey, I'm not sure if you know the operation it was called Rock Avalanche, and it was like a 3-day period in this time, and they went out to just talk to these fucking villages that nobody had really ever been in before, and they pissed off the wrong guy. And
the shitty part of the whole thing was it was when they were leaving.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't when they were already down there, everything was good, all this and that. It was fucking when they were leaving. It wasn't even what they were trying to get there. They were already done with everything was all supposed to be cool and all that. So their head game was, oh, we just made a friend, we're good and all that. And no, it was a 180 on them, dude. They were fucking waiting on them. The time, see, the bad thing was that when they were down the village, you had our unit on this mountainside watching. You had this unit over watching this side and this unit. these guys were on. They knew where we were. They knew where our position was, so they were waiting on the backside of a mountain for them to hill crest themselves to ambush them. So we could not fire from those positions on their position, and that's when it comes back to how smart they were, because we had no shots.
And
so
it was highly coordinated
on them. Highly,
because
was only on them.
They hit all positions at the same time. That you couldn't
all
support
coordinated.
each other.
Yep, all coordinated, all at the same time, and did it. It's just they knew that. I don't. It still has to come to those 5 people, man. That's the shitty part, you know. And that is the shitty realization of it. As we made a mistake, you're going to pay for it. Yeah, and you're going to pay for it in lives.
And the book goes into,
and that carries over into the civilian world, don't it? That's what we have trouble with in adaptation to, like, talking to civilians, because when that mistake happens, dude, you're just fuck. I mean, me personally, when a mistake happens, I still take, like, I'm letting it go. Van Daren episode, but fuck, man, taking that shit is like life or death, man. That's not easy to.
That's why you see a lot of veterans with trust issues, man. That's the biggest thing. A lot of us have big time trust issues, and we can't. You know, there's certain people that we just won't ever trust. But it's funny because I'm more willing to trust a veteran that I have no clue who you are than I am some regular civilian guy. Any day of the week, you know, straight up. I would trust you more with my life than some random Joe.
Fucking likewise, you know? Dude. So, I already loved your energy from the meeting. How you're like I am. I'm like, damn, well, yeah.
For people listening, I literally contacted you yesterday, and it was, you know, like that's the thing is with our culture, with our warrior culture, we connect instantly. Because we've all sucked the devil's dick. We've all been fucked by the green weenie. Yeah. You know, we
whatever weenie in the military,
and
whatever color.
It makes sense when you think of, you know, and I doubt we'll ever get to the point in our lives, but you hear stories of, you know, World War II veterans that were on Omaha Beach meeting Germans that were on Omaha Beach, and they instantly connect, and it's no longer out of hatred. They were both doing their jobs. Yeah. But, you know, and that kind of sucks, because one day, hopefully, I would like to go back to Iraq and show my family where I was, or, you know, this used to be here and this used to be there, but unfortunately,
or alien battle will an alien war is going to unite us all. Mark my motherfucker. We're going to die because the universe has an excellent filtering system. If we're the only fucking intelligent life, that means the universe is killing intelligent species at a cyclic rate. Or there's aliens out there.
I'll take a dude on a Dishka. You know, I'll fucking.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm bold enough to say, man.
Hey,
I wasn't there. Deven.
Give me one second. I want to show you guys something. 1 second.
Right.
And grab it.
But, like, you know, to capitalize it, it's way fucking easier for me to say than most people. Is I don't fucking want to hate anymore, man. I can't help watching these Muay Thai fucking shit and telling the Thai man to fuck that, you know, to get them. But then I'm like, nah, dude.
Hate is a cancer, man.
It
only hurts you. It only, like, if I continue to hate fucking the people that people think I should hate, it only hurts me. It doesn't hurt the person that you hate. It's like fucking punching yourself and wondering why that guy's not getting hurt.
It's no fucking shit, man.
Sorry about that. I couldn't find it. I thought I'd put it away. But anyways, I have actually.
Dude, you're coming back. We're gonna. I think you're officially part of. If you want to have us, you got to be officially part of Liberal Team 5, dog. I fucking.
Oh, that'd be a great honor, dude. That'd be awesome.
Dude, I'd fucking.
But I have a disc around. If everyone wants to know what a disc is, it's basically our equivalent to our 50 cal in the United States Army. It's a big round. The round itself is about the size of my pinky, but I have it.
Like my dick. That's literally the replica. You just showed the replica of my dick. It's the exact hair. Like, my pinky doesn't have enough hair follicles on it, but you
I'm good. That's your own personal business there. That's all good.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Dishkas are scary, dude. Dishkas are fucking, I don't like them.
We were in a firefight at our checkpoint Delta, And this Adiska gunner was very smart. He was only firing in 3 to 4 round bursts, so we couldn't see where the bursts were coming from, the fire. But we got called, say, hey, we're almost black on ammo. You need to bring us ammo up here. We've been in a firefight for over 6 hours. We need ammo. So we're like, okay. So we load up all the ammo we could, ran up there, and myself, my Sergeant Murray, Private Kayoshi, Leatherman, Corey Lures, and what was his name? Fucking Yeomans, Corey Yeomans. We were the ones in the back of the truck grabbing ammo, running it inside the place while getting shot at the entire time. Like the rounds were hitting all next to us and hitting the doors and all that. So we were trying to time, shooting back and all that. But I had this Adiska round, man. It was so close to my face, I felt the heat from it. And the only thing that saved my life was the fact that when I was running out of the compound back to the truck, there's a little lip about that big on the door. Well, I tripped up on it and I kind of stumbled and I stopped myself. And when I stopped myself, the fucking round went right in front of my face, dude. I felt the heat from it.
And this is no shit. Like now back to like the actual round size. We're talking the head, not the cartridge at all, but
the projectile. The actual projectile. Yeah.
So
that's like a 50 cal.
It would have blew my head off. So it would have blew my head off.
Basically, he was leading you, and you stumbled, and he just by chance or
whatever. God or somebody tripped me up, so I didn't die that day. But I saw
a banana.
I saw banana. I should have hit the Hesco, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get that later. I gotta get that round, And that's. But unfortunately, we had an A&A guy. He had his whole elbow blown out because it hit the door and the round exploded and hit him in the elbow, and it blew his arm. This whole piece here was gone. It was just dangling, and I was like, oh, dude. He goes, and he's just looking. He's in shock, and it's like, okay, we gotta take him back and. Yeah, it's just like from experience, it's crazy.
I don't want to make a joke, but when you made that noise of like, I imagine you going, get away from me. Like,
Probably was at that time. I was like, dude, I got shit to do. Get away. Like, go away. Go do something.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Go bleed over there, dude. Go bleed over there. I got ammo to take care of right now.
Tired, dog. Everybody's fucking tired. You're like, nah, dude, I can't. You really have to fucking get hurt.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, buddy fucker.
You got fucking shot, you piece of shit. If you would have fucking had cover.
You're not supposed to get hurt right now, motherfucker. We're in a firefight. What the fuck?
Dumb bitch.
Yeah, I always thought that if I were to get shot, they would bring me back to life simply so that they could yell at me for getting shot.
Yep, that's pretty much, yep.
Like,
yeah.
Like,
our Sergeant Major said, you don't die on my watch. You die on your own watch, on your own time.
Yeah, you won't. Fucking it's like my whole thing was like, dude, I am not gonna give my homies the satisfaction of coming to my funeral and getting laid at my fucking expense, dog. Yeah. Fuck you guys. Though I wouldn't have been mad if it ever happened, but I
was blessed enough that no one in our platoon got hurt or killed. We were blessed enough. We were trained enough. And I will say, for how many firefights we got in, I am still shocked to this day. Even my old platoon sergeant says, I don't know how the fuck none of us got hurt or killed for the shit that we did. We were in direct contact, with the enemy. But unfortunately, I did see the flip side of a lot of other people dying and transporting in my vehicles and, going to the aftermath of them, bodies laying all over the floor on the ground, commanders being killed. And so, there's always a flip side of it.
That's the shittiest part about being QRF. And we've talked to so basically in the Marine Corps, when we refer to our seniors, it's the guys that were on the deployment before us. So they are basically in charge of the new guys. And our seniors were battalion QRF for their first deployment. And so we talked, and it was the only time you get called out was to something bad. Nobody calls QRF because something good happened. Mm-hmm. Because if you're unless they're going to bring EOD or something out. But even then, it's like that you're going to a shit show, and that you are going to be possibly the deciding factor in the engagement of the day.
Most of the time, dude, that when we said we had literally 5 minutes to get our shit, we had our shit right next to our beds. It was get your shit on. We're going to there's a down helicopter. Get your shit on. troops are in contact right now. They're still in contact. Get your shit on. We have four guys dead. You know, it was at a moment's notice. It could be you're walking out, you're driving out, you're flying out. Get ready for whatever one it is. You know, that's how we operated. You know, and we loved it though. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I loved that fight.
Did you like the rush?
The rush, the roughing it, knowing it, we're going in. Fucking, I mean, you know, for me, when I joined the military, why I joined the military, I can still remember. I was 5 years old. I was living in San Leandro, California, and I saw an Army Ranger commercial. 5 years old. 5 years old.
Love this motherfucker. I already told you I love this motherfucker.
And I watched it, and it was a Ranger commercial about joining the Rangers and all this stuff. And I literally looked at my mom. I said, "Mom, that's what I want to do for my life." And, you know, she goes, "Oh, you're 5. You know, yeah, every boy wants to do that." No, well, I graduated high school, and I said, "Hey, I'm joining the Army." And she goes, "You're really going to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really want to go." And, you know, I grew up on the era of Bond, too. I love James Bond. The whole spy shit, I loved it, man.
Yeah.
You know, GoldenEye was the first Bond I watched, too.
Are you 33 right now?
I'm 33.
Yeah, fucking 33, dude. It's a massive age, bro, because at 3rd grade, I saw that fucking Marine commercial, and I was like, dude, I'm 9/11 happened. I was like, there ain't no way I'm backing out now, dude.
When 9/11 happened, I was a freshman, dude.
Deal sealer, dude. That was it.
And
I was like,
I remember the day, you know, they rolled in a TV and said, "Hey, class has been canceled, but here's some history stuff." And, you know, we were there for an hour or more, and they said, "Hey, go home." You know, everyone go home. And everyone just got left. And it's like, oh, shit. And then I taped like 10 hours worth of footage, of news footage, just for my own documentary to go back on. I said, man, this is real, because at that point I knew I was still going to join the Army. But I was like, dude, I'm going into the Army knowing I'm going. And that's the difference. I knew I was joining and I was going to get deployed. At that point, even as a freshman, I'm like, I'm going to go to war. And that's where my that's where my mindset kind of changed, knowing, hey, I graduated and 6 days later I was in basic training. Fort Knox, Kentucky.
It's no longer the career opportunities or the college or the benefits. It's, you know, over the past 20 years, basically every single person that's enlisted or been commissioned, you know, you're at some point going to be in a very shitty part of the world doing some shitty stuff. Yep. And not everybody goes, but when you join a combat related fucking MOS, you know,
you're going.
Joey and I, we hit our unit in 08. We knew we were going. It wasn't if, it was when. And we happened to get 9 months.
Dude, we joined Marine Corps Infantry. Hey, we knew we were going. I was like, Marine Corps Infantry.
I remember we were.
Can't fuck that.
We were in it's called Grafenwehr in Germany. It's a big training site. Germans, Polish, Americans, all that. Huge training area in Germany. It's called a Grafenwehr. Well, we were doing our normal 2-week training that we did all the time. We did 2 weeks like every 2 months. Like we were just trained. We were trained. But I remember our commander gets on the line. He's like, "Attention, all units. Please gather all men around radio. We have new information, new orders." And we're like, okay, something changed. What's going on? Because our perception was that we're going to Iraq. We got told, "Hey, you're going to Iraq. You know, get ready, get geared up for Iraq. Start training for Iraq." I'm like, okay, cool. Well, that night, dude, he comes on and goes, "Hey, attention, new orders effective immediately. Unit 173 battalion or brigade 191 is now being translated to Afghanistan." And you just heard every unit, dude, that trucks and all that just erupting with cheer, dude. Like, we're not going to Iraq now. Yes, we want to go to Afghanistan. That's where we want to fucking go, you know, because all the guys that were still in that unit had been to Iraq. Like, dude, it's boring, and plus you have to worry about this and that. And they were all saying, "I'd rather go to Afghanistan." Dude, it was so funny because we're cheering knowing we're going to war, but we're going to Afghanistan instead. Like, yes, you know, fuck Iraq. We're going to Afghanistan. Let's do this,
dude,
you know.
That's how we were at the end of our first deployment. They're like, "We're no longer going on a MEU. We're going to Afghanistan." And it was seriously went from like a graveyard to like just
but
happiness.
We didn't get the satisfaction of them. Like, we never fucking found out shit.
Yeah. They were lying to us, and we got excited. And then we figured out from the guys that came in, like, we came to this unit because we knew they were going on a MEU. They were the deployment. They had seen enough. They done seen enough
Yeah.
combat, and they're like, dude, we are trying to get away from combat. I'm like, what? No.
Well, the biggest reason though, the
No,
biggest reason too is
we
because
didn't go into combat.
the biggest thing is because that's when we switched over, like I said, to armor to light infantry scout platoon. You know, we only had Humvees. We cleaned up all of our Bradleys and stuff, and we shipped them back to the States. And so it was made sense for us to go to Afghanistan, being a light unit that we could rucksack and climb mountains and all that shit, opposed to being a heavy unit. You know, so we all kind of saw it coming. We were hoping, and yeah, it sure shit did. And it was, like I said, it was a fat party afterwards. Like people were partying because we know we're going to war to Afghanistan. It's the craziest thing because everyone's like, you're partying because you're going to war. No, we're not sick, twisted individuals. It's just, in our mindset, Iraq was going to suck,
Well,
but we're going to Afghanistan. It's a better war, I guess, in a sense, in a weird, twisted way. Like,
I don't think it was twisted. I think it was like coming from old school. Like I came from a family that the harder you work, the more blessed you are, kind of sense. So it was like war is the hardest thing anybody could fucking do. So to me, it was like I signed up for Marine Corps infantry because being ignorant, I thought that meant I was going to go to the hardest combat, and if I survived, then I have earned my spot in my fucking country. I think that's literally how like everybody thought that was there.
Well, we talked about this, Caldwell. Caldwell and I were in the same. Joey and I were in we were in the same school for our MLS.
I used to get pissed in the Marine Corps when people called me Caldwell. I'd be like, it's fucking Joey, bitch! It's fucking Joey!
So basically in our school it was 2 months, and the first month we were all together learning like the shit that everyone has to know. And then for the last month we split into, machine guns, mortars, shit like that, right? Or for our your more specific job. And basically half of our MOS went to 2-7, which we talked about earlier, got fucked up on their deployment, and the other half basically went to 1-4, who was going to Iraq. So it's all just where you fall on a fucking roster for us. But like it's also like for you in that situation, I would think that it would be like a vote of confidence of like we believe these guys can be a changing force or in this conflict, instead of being like, oh fuck them, send them to the desert and let them fucking fry.
As soon as we switched to 173rd, that's how we trained. We trained mountainous regions. I mean, and that's the way we trained, even knowing that we were probably going to Iraq. That's just how we trained. We did a lot of CQB with buildings and get ready for that shit and all that. But as far as our huge maneuvers, it was all, do the flank. Now we're on a mountain, so we can't flank the same way. We got to do this and that. So I guess the biggest thing was it was just a relief knowing that all of our hard work was actually going to be fucking put to a real situation and actually do good. And my personal opinion, I would probably hate going to Iraq. I know a lot of guys.
Yeah.
A lot of people said two things about Iraq. One, it's boring and it's stupid and it's fucking. Their biggest fear there was IEDs. We didn't have to worry about that in Afghanistan. Not where we were. Down to Jalalabad and Kabul and stuff like that. Yeah, they had a lot of fucking IEDs. It sucked. But the good thing is that where we were, there was one road in, one road out, and the Taliban did not want to fuck that road up because they were sending their ammo, their money, their guns, and all that secretly on that same road. So they didn't want to blow the road up,
Well,
so we did one ID. We did get one ID, but they fucked up. We stopped. It was under a bridge, and it was honestly probably like 2 sticks of TNT almost, dude, because the explosion was not big. It made us go, what was that? Was that
Did
an
you fart?
RPG?
Did
Yeah, it's like, no, we literally thought, did an RPGs just get shot at us? Like, I think that was an RPG, dude. So we started shooting at us. But yeah, we went to go investigate, and they put it underneath a huge cement slab, and it was all fucked up. Like, dude, they either literally didn't know what the hell they were doing, or they just wanted to see our reaction to scare us, or they wanted to try to kill one of us or something. I don't know. It wasn't gonna be like these,
They're like,
double, triple,
let's try this
155s.
ID thing that everybody else is trying real quick.
It was,
That's
it was almost
fucking
like
gay. We're not gay. That's fucking
it was.
like
It was almost like they told him, "Hey, make a bomb, but don't blow up the road. Just make a bomb, but don't blow up the road. Though. Don't make it too big, but make it big." It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It was,
Well, yeah, and at least my experience was, like you said, IEDs. That was, I wasn't worried about the dude coming out with a rifle. I was worried about the bomb underneath the fucking road that was gonna lift your fucking vehicle up.
Bro, the guy with the rifle was not a good shot, man.
Hey,
I would have liked my helmet. I was like, come on.
On real funny though, we were actually at my platoon sergeant, and I know in the Marines it's different. I know in the Army it's different, but we were in Germany. It was a different type of unit feel. You're not supposed to be with your platoon sergeant. You're not supposed to be a sergeant. Blah blah blah, that crap. But we were. My platoon sergeant my platoon sergeant was ex-special forces, so he's like, I want all my guys to fucking come to my house before we deploy and party with their wives and shit. Like, that's what we do. Like, there's camaraderie. Come on, So we did. We had one guy on the computer looking up IED bombs, and you see all the soldiers like, oh, that's a good one, and all the wives in the back are like, and Sergeant Murray comes out. He goes, dude, turn that shit off. Our wives are here. They don't need to see that. We're just like, dude, that was a good one. Look at that blow up. Like, So it was just different times, different people, and so
it's like,
yeah, they were. They're like, and Sergeant Murray just like, dude, turn that shit off. Hurry up. Like, they don't need to see that shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's not good when you're in that line of work and you bring your work home.
Trust me, dude. I was like married. You know how many fucking arguments it's like my ex-wife is all like, you don't know what it's like to have a husband he might get blown up, because I like literally called on the day one time where a fucking IED had went off and we were on QRF and had to go respond to IED, but they heard the fucking IED go up over the phone. I'm like, dude, it's nothing.
You don't know how many times.
We're in MRAPs. It's fine.
They used to rocket us with 105 and 107 rockets.
Yeah, but this IED was like a 155 shell. It was nothing. It was literally it's nothing. Like, this is no shit, nothing. We have MRAPs. We could run over 155 all day.
You had an MRAP. I had a Humvee.
Okay, well, I was straight into MRAP. But whatever the fucking case was, somebody got blown up. And it wasn't that big of a deal, okay?
They had one MRAP, and that was like for the specialty units where, because on FOB Nare, there wasn't within a compound.
Well, you guys are on a 90-degree angle. You can't drive MRAPs on a 90-degree angle.
No,
you can't drive an MRAP on a 9-degree angle.
Yeah.
You can't.
They tried one time, and they rolled the fucker all the way down and actually killed a soldier. Unfortunately, in another unit, that's when they're like, yeah, we're not doing MRAPs up here. It's like, no, dude, there's nowhere to turn. If there's no room for a Humvee to turn around, only on certain points, there's no way you're putting an MRAP fucking on these with, and most of the time when you're on the side, dude, if you look down, it's a sheer cliff. You're just looking at a cliff, like, you're looking at the dryers, like, for the love of God, please don't kill us. And you're like, you're scraping the rock on the other side because you don't want to hit, that side. And the shitty part about our Humvees was, all they did was they took the doors off and put 900-pound doors on all four sides and up-armored the thing. So now you have this awkward weight on this Humvee that's meant for soft shell, and you put a bunch of fucking armor on it, and now it's
not made for that.
Once it rocks, you're like this for like 20 minutes. Like, is this thing ever going to stop? Like, the balance sucks and all this, but it saved our lives, though. It took RPGs, took sniper fire, took small arms, so it did its job. But it's just
some fucking engineer like literally played that shit close. So yeah, those up armor Humvees fucking.
And I actually want to shout this out to my unit, Delta Troop guys, mechanics.
Delta Troop.
The new gun mounts that you guys see, where you take the pin and the pendule and you can swing them and all that, the swing arm for like the 240s or even the Mark 19s, how they can go 90 degrees up and all that. That was created by our mechanics, because the first firefight that 503rd got up in Afghanistan, they were still used of standard mounts, which would only go 45 degrees. After that firefight, 2 of their guys got killed. We had to go up there and save them. But our mechanic looked, he goes, like, what happened? What's the problem? He goes, we could only use our M4s. We couldn't use our Mark 19s. We couldn't use our 50 cals. We couldn't use our crew serves because they wouldn't go that high. So this dude he double stacked one, so he was able to put that thing put your Mark 19 or 50 cal up 90 degrees, and it got so much headline that DOD came out, took pictures of it, and now the mounts that you see that the military have is because of those guys. I will give a shout out to them because they did something awesome, dude.
That is bad.
The old ones, just the standard T&E unit is, even if you're free gunning it and you take that shit off, you can only get so high. It all depends on how low you can get the spade grip. So what they did was they literally raised it 6 more inches, so you were able to get that gun all the way down to your 50 cal, your Mark 19, all that. They just double stacked it, and they took out a couple of the metal pieces, so you were able to do the whole free rotate. And then the swing arm, the secondary swing arms that will be on the side of you that you could put your 249 or your 240 Bravo, whatever, with that pin mount, so you could swing it all the way, up and down and all that. And it was a game changer, dude. After that, they created that you could not fight in Afghanistan if that wasn't created. We'd all probably be dead because you couldn't use crew serves,
Yep. That's what's fucking tits about America, and that's why our culture, I think, beats theirs, is because we don't give a shit. Like, if you're a woman, and you're smart enough, you can invent shit. I mean, I know it might have been men who did all this shit, but it's like we don't. I think what makes our culture superior is obviously the technological side made us win, not because we're harder. Whatever, they're harder than us. Cool, good for you, because we have cool shit like Nintendo and shit. But it's the fact that we just, and it's something that we've actually stepped away from, in my opinion, as a country, that we need to really get back to, is fucking fact, motherfucker. Science. Hard fucking fact. Why work harder? Work motherfucking smarter. Like, they could parkour up a mountain in like half a second, but fuck all that when we have our Mark 19, that a grenade, it moves faster than you, bitch.
I'm pretty sure that if,
our super aircraft,
the situation that you were talking about of not being able to get that correct elevation on your cruiser, some general would have, if they would have noticed it, they'd still be developing something. But it takes the
what do we do?
Yeah, they would do focus groups and how does this make you feel?
My college degree.
Whereas it was, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like, hey, we need to get our fucking rounds up there. How do I get my fucking rounds up there?
And that sounds simple, people, but if you've ever fired a machine gun where you press the buttons, it's...
Yeah.
Don't fucking freak. The Rambo is lying. You can't fucking free gun a 50 cal.
That's not true. I saw somebody hit fire the fucking M2. So
okay, well, that is a sick motherfucking steroided big.
It wasn't. It was Shaw.
Of course it was Shaw.
He's a fucking beanpole, dude. He's a beanpole.
Of course it was Shaw.
He willed it with his mind.
Hey,
Yoda. Of course
I'm
it
not
was
shitting
Yoda.
you. I seen a dude hold the tripod of the 50 cal next to like this and let the dude shoot off his fucking shoulder. Also had another dude shoot the 50 cal, didn't headspace and time it correctly, and the fucking barrel went flying.
Headspacing timing is fucking important. And it's not, you don't just pick up a 50 cal and start shooting. You have to put this fucking device. You have to like click, turn some shit and click it. Oh my god, is it gonna fucking fire? It's not like Rambo where you just fucking man leap and grab onto it and start free gunning and mowing everybody down. That's not how it works. You got to fucking stick some shit in it, and you're like, oh god.
Well, that's the 240, right? You can't even just slam a barrel and slam it down. You have to listen for the clicks. You have to how many clicks?
7.
Yeah, so
gotta hear 7.
People are like, oh, in the movies when they're da 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 and the barrel's glowing and they pull it off and he throws it and he just jams a new one. That's that barrel is now fucked and that gun's not operational and you're gonna die. Especially being in as a remote area as you guys were, which is like we were lucky we were flat, we would just drive and pick up shit we needed.
We had to take in everything that we needed. There was no There was no going back to get what you needed. It was you took it with you because you didn't know if you're going to be in that spot for a week, if you're going to be there stuck for 2 weeks. You didn't know, you know. So, but anything else you want to know about? I know we kind of got off stories, love stories off, but I know you want to know more about Korengal and stuff. So, kind of stay on track here. Anything else specifically?
I don't know, man. It's fucking
because I can talk your ear off about military all day. I mean, we could do a whole nother podcast of just military and ideas and opinions and stuff. But I know you want to do this one specifically for Korengal. So,
well, I'm just fascinated, and my buddy Ian is the one that connected us, and I had mentioned to him when I
which was kind of funny too, though, because it's kind of weird because I just got added to that group. I was on Facebook the other night, and I was like, a veteran group, and I was just like adding different veteran groups. So I just they just let me join like the night prior before that.
So dude, we don't like fucking when we get on here, bro. It for us, it's like therapy. So like, dude, it's your episode, man. Whatever the fuck you want to talk about, man. If you got a like story that pops in mind. You got a point you want to like. I think this has been amazing. Like you're talking about the Army where our culture's not so fucking different. We're talking about dude. The media just fucks everything up, man.
Well, to what I was saying was I had read the book War, and I talked to you, Caldwell, about it. I was like, holy shit, dude! And I started telling him about this valley and like the shit that Restrepo and all that shit. And I know one Army guy, and his name's fucking Ian. And I was like, hey, man, by any chance, do you know anybody that was in the valley? And I was like, this fucking story and learning about this place basically changed how I thought of the Army as a whole, right? Because, Marines, you're like, oh, Army, they got all this new shit, and, we get all their hand-me-downs, and we get treated like shit. But then you're like, holy fuck, dude, 15 months in literally the valley of death. It is fuck, you don't
they build us up, dude. They fucking tell us a bunch of shit. Like they make some technicalities. Yeah, our boot camp is like a couple weeks longer, but I don't even want to go there. Like
do you know what's funny, man? So you could always tell a soldier from the Korengal Valley, from Nuristan province and all that stuff that was in the suck. You could always tell when we were at Bagram, like if people had to go to Bagram for their leave or whatever, we had a different look and just vision because you could spot us out a mile away, dude, because you'd be like, hey, that motherfucker's from the suck. You could just tell, dude, just because, you go to Bagram, fuck, they got Burger King, fucking Pizza Hut, they got PX, they got the luxury, dude. It's like living on base. You get up there, you got fucking nothing. Mm-hmm. You got nothing. There's nothing there.
I remember getting.
That's about the Marine Corps. We had nothing all the time, and that was awesome. That's what we could say is we had nothing the whole fucking time. That's it.
But I remember getting yelled at by some fucking. I think it was like a first sergeant or something in like pressed camis and shit. And I've been wearing the same camis for, a week and a half, and they're fucking crusty. And I think he was yelling because I had like a fucking 5 o'clock shadow, and I was like, you don't understand the last time that I was in this chow. Like,
we didn't have running water for 4 fucking months.
Yeah, dude, trust me, I know all about that.
Right, dude, you guys were there for 15 months. We were there for like 7.
We had a huge fucking wooded shack thing full of water that was 100 degrees water. That was your water. I mean, luckily we had a chow hall, that we were able to eat all that, but I wasn't on post for this time on Naray. We were on checkpoints. We were fucking cruising. We were on OPs. We were out fucking up in Keating. We were at fucking down to Korengal. We were down to Jalalabad. So it wasn't like
Dude, our chow hall was literally the dining room. We literally just named wherever we eat.
Yeah, it's wherever you eat is a chow hall.
Fucking tent, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
we say we go to the chow hall, we mean this tent we erected and called it the fucking chow hall. Not like an actual hall where we fucking have meat and
Dude, I remember standing on post eating crab legs on the Marine Corps birthday and being like, how fucking weird is this that I'm eating like people in the States would pay dozens of dollars for this amount of crab, and I'm sitting there fucking in my flak and Kevlar, just pissed off, cracking these fucking crab legs. But one thing
Dude,
that if you want to
we
piss
got
off,
beer in OP Green. We didn't get crab legs. We got fucking beer.
no, well
That shit was
we
a good
had
time.
beer, but they put on so many restrictions on who could have it.
Oh, not an
Yep.
OP Green, motherfucker. There was
Yep. No
every man for
beer.
himself.
Well,
no
we-
crab legs and all none of that shit.
we
I mean,
got-
that's
yeah,
great,
you guys
but-
didn't get that shit. You guys were fighting the real world, okay?
But
we were fucking
we
jerking
had-
off on post, but not finishing, so we wouldn't fall asleep.
for people listening, when I say we had beer, I mean for one day, they brought in beer for the Marine Corps birthday, and then I think they did it again on Christmas, or that might have been the leftover
Yeah.
shit from the
It
birthday.
is likely that no matter where you're at in the Marine Corps, like whatever war you're in, wherever
You're gonna get a
it may
beer.
be, you're getting fucking something for the Marine Corps birthday.
But it was room temperature Budweiser.
Hey, I still drink that shit. Room
And
temperature, that shit.
The amount of rules that command came down with, they were like, if you're on post in the next 8 hours, you can't have any. If you're on 2 hours,
We're sitting there on post behind the machine.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, and they're like 2 beers a person. It was like, okay, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking.
the only time I remember is when these it was funny because our platoon sergeant, he was from first group special forces out from Washington, and when we were there for the same first group that he just left, were actually stationed right there with us. So he's like, oh fuck, hey guys, and they actually gave him a ball of alcohol, and we all took a shot of it. And that's the only extent of alcohol we had. It was smuggled in alcohol, like that was it. And that was it was probably the best tasting shot of vodka I ever had in my entire life at that point.
Yeah.
I remember the amount of
Dude,
rules.
yeah, we did a lot of. I mean, third platoon was smoking weed. First platoon was getting drunk on mouthwash vodka that was sent via mouthwash. If you want to send your guy that's in country some booze, mouthwash.
Don't, because you'll get in trouble.
You'll probably get in trouble.
Hey, if any viewers are watching this, you got a soldier over there, a Pringles can resealed works great. Just saying.
But you will get in trouble.
Yeah.
But
just put a couple chips on top and reseal it with some glue. You're fine.
Yeah.
fuck, what was it?
We had a guy. He his brother or something did that, but not with alcohol. He did it with porno mags. He rolled them up, put them in the fucking thing, put a couple chips on top, resealed it, came right in. He goes, "Oh yeah, I did." Like it was like Penthouse or Playboy or something like that. 'Cause you couldn't have that,
I remember them telling us, like, they give you the list of all the prohibited items, right? And it's also, for people that don't realize, it's also for the culture that you're in. So like they said, you're going to a Muslim culture, so you can't have porn, you can't have posters of girls. I have never seen so much porn in my life.
That's how we got Hearts and Minds, motherfucker. As I showed Waleed his first pair of tits. Waleed, if you ever watch, I love you, bro.
We would walk by
Waleed, I miss you.
We would walk by the Terps little hooch, and it smelled like weed, and you would hear porn all hours of the day, and they would just come out, and like they would see the sun, they'd be like, and then they go right back in. It was like
my platoon sergeant straight had a 400 gigabyte fucking hard drive full of porn, dude. That's all it was. Like he called it his holy porno fucking grail, dude. Like it's like Jesus Christ, sergeant.
And for the dark humor, it was like, hey, if I die, this guy gets my porn. And then he can. It was like a will. It was like a grunt will, and it was like, if I die, you can have my porn. You can have my pocket pussy.
See, it was funny. My platoon sergeant, man, he had a bag. He had a go bag everywhere he went. A huge go bag, and he always said, if something happens to me, take this go bag. It's yours. Like he had everything. He had, he had ADHD really bad, so he had Ritalin. He had, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's some missions like, hey, sergeant, give me a Ritalin. He goes, all right. Stay up all night, fucking woo, we're singing, baby. Like, back in, but. No, he had everything in there, dude. Extra ammo, extra food. He just everything. Yeah, he had magazines. He had everything, dude. It was just one of those things that any mission, anytime he'd grab it, that was his go bag for So
yeah, we had one guy,
Badass.
we had one guy in my platoon. He's deceased now, so I won't say his name, but he had a terabyte of porn, and this was in '08 when a terabyte was a fucking basically a
fucking one.
suitcase.
Yes, yeah.
And he would treat that fucking terabyte. It had its own Pelican case. It had fucking and it was like that was his fucking
That was
baby.
from our boy we just lost.
No, that was he died in '09. Van Daren's friend.
Oh man.
But yeah, and then
Oh yeah.
Joey and I have talked about how in the grunt community, porn is a currency.
Mhm.
Porn and tobacco. It's like, hey,
Biggest things,
yeah, it's like prison, right? It's like, hey, I have to fill sandbags. I'll give you this pack of smokes if you fill fucking 20 sandbags for me.
Dude,
Yep.
that's exactly where like my dick jokes come into play, is because I was led to believe by somebody that there's gonna be, and he wasn't grunt, and he tried to get me to not go grunt. The guy who got me in the Marine Corps, he tried to get me not go grunt. I fucking wouldn't listen, but he led me to believe that there was gonna be plenty of women. But I forgot the fact that the first day of boot camp, you see more dicks than Jenna Jameson. And then it's just constant dick fest. It's just dicks. It's just constantly what are we doing today? I'm going to host tonight's dick fest.
I think
Fest after dick fest, bro. It's fucking shitty.
Just being an 18-year-old, I played football and stuff like that. So locker room wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
it was a whole new level, dude. When you're literally nut to butt naked, waiting for a shower. Fucking when you first get in, because they want to make sure you shower, you're sitting there and you're like at attention and like it's like can we at least get like 2 inches or something, bro? Like
I used
the tall motherfuckers and their dicks are like your chest out and you're like trying to get your first time in the shower.
I used to
there it is. You're like,
I used to tell guys that as long as their dick didn't get blown off, I would be able to identify them. I could be like, yeah, that's Joey right there.
Yeah.
But it's like, we had a bunch of guys that we served with the other day on. We didn't record it, but within, I want to say 90 seconds, we were talking about dicks. And then
we like, Caldwell, what is it with you and dicks? It's like, dude, it's because I was lied to, dog. It was like the biggest things. I was supposed to go and get all these women. They were supposed to start throwing themselves at me because I'm a Marine. And we get into California, they're like, no, fuck you baby killer. I'm like, what? I'm a doctor. I learned to lie and tell people. I started getting haircuts to where they didn't know I was a Marine and started telling people I was a fucking doctor, okay?
I recently had an ultrasound on my private areas, and the girl doing it, she keeps like apologizing, like, hey, sorry, and I'm like, dude, I was like, my first day in boot camp, I showered with 83 other men. I was like, you can't do or say anything that is gonna make me go, hey, stop it. Like I have had more dicks resting on my shoulder. I have, you turn around and you're like, geez, god damn it, and you don't have to look at the name or at the person, you know who it is. You're like, oh god damn it,
fucking
Staff Sergeant fucking Staley, that was his thing. Dick o'clock. He would pull his dick out, wrap it around his wrist, like, hey, what time is it? And he'd be like, oh, come on, man. He's like, it's dick 30. Every time, like, man, I don't need to see that shit, dude. Come on. That dude flashes penis more than probably anybody in the history of the Army. Like, that dude he was proud of it. Dude. He was just weighing it out. I'm like, god damn, dude. Well, and, 18-year-old private that's just joined the military, fucking, okay, this is a whole new realm for me. Like, all right, I guess. Like,
well, so our second deployment, we were on a ship, and basically our whole platoon was in one room, and the whole floor of our ship only had 2 shower stalls, and so it was like, you always hear of like in the military, it's don't ask, don't tell, and it's all very heterosexual, and it's like the most gayest shit I've ever seen. You could put gay porn on, and I have seen shit gayer than that. I have like,
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah.
And when you get a bunch of dudes hopped up on testosterone, fucking and adrenaline, and they're bored, and there's no women around, you're going to get some gay shit going on. And I'm not talking sex. I'm not talking it. Just
no. That's just it. Yeah, it's.
Dude, yeah, dude. Well, I remember one day specifically.
And it's funny though, because you're gonna have guys look at this like, "Oh, that never happened." Blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's nothing sexual. It's nothing like that. No one's gay. Well, at least we didn't think they were.
Well,
Hope not. But
one,
always one. There's always one. But you know, it's like, but that's the funny thing, because everyone's like, "Man, you guys act so gay." It's like, believe it or not, that's a bonding thing, dude.
That's how
one
close
thing. It's
we
a
are.
straight. Yeah, it's a
bro.
That's
dude,
how.
Like, yeah,
we trusted our lives with each other, dude. This ain't nothing. This is our bonding moment, you know, like.
Dude, there's me naked on this side, and there's Rosie naked on this side, and literally Travis is sitting right here playing his computer, and our dicks are just playing Warcraft, and we're fucking having a 2-hour conversation, and it's like nothing, dude, and we're not thinking about it, and then we fucking look over, and we were next to the female Marines, and they're all just piled at our door, just looking at me and Rosie and Travis, because Gunny Homer decides to make a post to where you have to sit in the front of the fucking berthing. Love you, Gunny Homer, but you have to sit in front of the fucking berthing and be on post. So Travis is standing post in our fucking berthing, and me and Rosie trying to fuck him up while he's on post, even though he's playing fucking World of Warcraft, decide to talk to him naked. And our dicks are just here. And so there's the door that it's dark time.
That's their fault. They should have known.
We couldn't see.
No, not you. The females should have known.
They knew. They probably did know.
Yeah.
And another thing fucked up is that if we would have peeked in their berthing, we'd have been fucking kicked out of the military. We'd have been fucked. So females got it good, and I stand by that. Stand by that. If you're fucking female, like I even in the civilian ward, the last place I worked, the female is literally setting up doing yoga, standing on her desk doing yoga, and nobody says anything to her. And then, of course, being military and equal opportunity, I stayed up and say, "Hey, look, this bitch is taking a shit on her desk." And everybody starts laughing. But before that, everybody was like staring at her like, "Oh, I'd hit it. I'd hit it." Like, come on. I mean, like, we fucking 12, bitch. Like, what the fuck are we at? Equal opportunity, my ass.
That's why people don't realize, like, on Marine bases, they keep all the infantry guys far away from any females. Like, it was
for us it was kind of like that, but it's funny because we were in the back spot, so we had like our main area here, we had agency here, we had like kind of seed, and then we had one off weird building over here, our barracks. Well, behind those barracks was another set of barracks, but that was a whole different unit, co-ed, whatever. So there's chicks there all the time, dude, back there. So, and we shared a community barbecue pit. So, I mean, every Friday night it was fucking like going to the club anyways, because you had all the females out there doing whatever. You had all of our guys like, hey, there's some females. Like 18-year-old privates, like, dude, I'm in Germany, fucking, let's go barbecue. There's chicks, like, you know, just fucking testosterone, the horny fucking dogs they were, you know, drinking. And, yeah, it was so funny to see, though, because they'd be sneaking each other back and forth. It's like, oh, my God, dude, here we go.
So like we had basically
like it was first time ever working with girls was on our second deployment. We never had girls ever. In the second deployment, we're like, girls?
We only had them as support.
We had we had female search teams that we would take out every so often if we were doing a community, you know, event or something. But on our camp on Pendleton, there was literally, if a female drove into our camp, you would just hear echo out like in prison. You'd hear, "There's a female on Horno," and then everyone would be like, "What? What?" It was like,
dude, let's face it. You can be like,
put it this way:
"There's a fucking female. I can smell it."
In our barracks, if a woman or a lady, whatever, even if it was someone bringing like a girlfriend or whatever, you'd hear fucking the CQ yelling, woman in barracks. There's a woman in barracks. Of like, meaning put your dicks away, get back in your rooms, don't be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
We
Sharpen
heard
yourself.
we heard that on ship. Anytime a female came in to like our berthing, you'd have to say female on deck.
And they can come in freely. We could never go in
But
there.
we were
No.
literally told that you will never step foot in the female berthing.
Never.
yeah.
And I was like, absolutely, you don't have to worry about me. I don't. Last thing I want is a fucking
It's herpes.
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's literally the herpes was like a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah,
Well, see, now in the Army, now there's a role of like, because there's been a lot, sexual rapes and just sexual trauma to women. It sucks. It
Sexual
does.
trauma
Now-
to women.
No,
but-
it's real, Joseph. Stop
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I'm fucking being a scumbag.
Now they have a rule now though that if any type of male or female contact or anything like that, they're putting in place like the buddy system. So no man can be alone with a woman. So therefore, there has to be either two men and the woman, or two women and one man. Period. There can't be or the other. Can't be one is single. Just because of that issue that they're having.
no,
Like
means no.
and if you've seen what's going down in Fort Hood with all the like soldiers getting found killed and all that, and and with this whole uproar of how many people, women are coming out saying, I got sexually raped or traumatized or whatever in the military, they made a rule now that literally you can't be one-on-one. Even if like a first sergeant's talking to one of their privates, if they're the opposite sex, there has to be a third party in that room, either their sergeant or another person, private or whatever, even and all that. It can't be alone anymore.
And I don't want people to get me wrong. I have nothing against females in the military. There's absolutely things that they are good at and things that they do better than we do. They're
hell yeah! It's just not equal opportunity. Fuck off.
Yeah,
Just get a dick, bitches.
But
I stand by that shit.
the military is a culture of standards, and if you can meet the standards, I don't care. And General Mattis said it the best when he was being questioned, or when they do the confirmation hearings when he was going to be SecDef. They asked him. They tried to do like a gotcha question, like, "Oh, what do you think about females in the military or gays in the military?" And he said, "As long as you can meet the standards, I don't care what you do in your own home, and I don't care what's between your legs." He goes, "My job is to make the most lethal fighting force in the world." And there's absolutely, I have women in my family that were in the military that I highly respect, and I know I know fucking a lot of women that were in the military that are stronger than a lot of the men I knew in the fucking military.
The only thing, and I know, and I agree with you 100%. The only thing I wouldn't want to see, there's a couple things I don't want to see. I'm not, and I know if people are like, "Oh, he's a sexist asshole." I'm not in any way, shape, or form. But a couple problems about women being in combat arms for what we did. We were on a mountainside for weeks, if not months on end. Now, that alone becomes a hygiene problem for women. It does. They need to be clean in certain areas. They have periods. They have stuff. So, not saying that they
Their
can't.
vagina.
I'm not saying they can't. But, as far as being hygiene, yeah, man can shower, weeks on end and be okay. Maybe a woman can too. I don't know. Another thing,
yeast infections is fucking. I mean, I don't know either.
I see as a hygiene.
Gotta be careful, bro. We gotta be careful.
As a hygiene part of that issue, I see that could be an issue. Another thing is that I'm not saying a woman couldn't pick me up. I'm not saying that at all. But most women wouldn't be able to. And in a combat thing, if you need to drag somebody or pull someone, I don't think 80% of the women would be able to do that. And then that's being fair. There's 20% that probably could. And if you can pick my ass up with full gear like I had to pick up my brothers if something happened, fight alongside me. That's perfect. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's that equal opportunity scary part that people don't want to talk about, and that's another issue. But it needs to be said, because if you can't do your job as far as like with combat arms, I'm just saying frontline combat arms jobs. If you can't pick someone up because you're unphysically able to, that puts not only you in risk, you're putting in other people's in risk.
Yeah.
And that's a scary realization of it.
Well, yeah, we had Ryan on. It was like a couple days ago or whenever it was. But that dude, he was like all like, yeah, I just fucking got my leg back on. I'm ready for combat. They're gonna greet me with arms. They're like, no, motherfucker, you're gonna get us killed because your leg's blown off and it doesn't physically make sense for you to fucking be here.
Yeah, and that's a green beret
That's a green
they
beret.
were wary about
Yeah.
having. Like,
They were like, dude, no, you shouldn't fucking be. Just go retire and get your fucking Purple Heart.
well, it's
retired,
like
man.
you know, if I'm sure that if this
Goes to, I'm not dying for this fucking country. Fuck you.
yeah,
That's why they think. That's why
but
they say
it's
fuck
also you
dying.
know, you can't put them in there just to put them there. You have to do it correctly. It has to be done for the right reason.
And he earned his fucking way, by the way. He
yeah.
fucking earned every goddamn like, dude. So yeah, females, you're probably gonna catch it. Like, check out Ryan if you want to fucking say play the victim card, you know. But yeah, dude, they have like, there are definitely like counter, like for like say undercover operations, like what Israel has proven females, they make great snipers. So Overwatch, you know, and they use them for counterinsurgency, as in we have a guy that's an actor, I'm a husband, we're an actor, she's a wife, and they're infiltrating some sort of thing that works. But for grunt work, the shit that where like you're going to lay in shit and jump in a ditch of shit, it's just girls will get a yeast infection, because if you've ever gone accidentally
we have
ass to vagina with a yeast
and I'm gonna
infection
go
immediately.
And I'm gonna, you know, I'm just gonna follow suit with like Andrew said. You know, if you're able to do the same things that I'm able to do, fucking more power to you. I don't care. I'll fight right next. I'll fight all day with you. But you know, if it puts people in danger because you can't fit, not even mentally, physically do what some of these guys are doing, then you know, I don't think it's right. You know, there's that one female that it's in Ranger Battalion. She just passed Special Force school. She got her tab. She's a badass, dude. She is a badass. If you look her up, I forgot what her name is, but she is one of the elites. You know, but
the important thing there is though she met all the standards. And she
Standards.
because if I have to be able to lift she has to be able to lift me. Because like I would have loved to have a little 115-pound girl that I can throw over my shoulder and fucking run down a hill under fire. But the reality is, if you switch the roles, she's not going to be able to put me over her shoulder.
It's always the big motherfucker because he's the easy target.
Yeah. But I know that we got started late, but I have to go play dad for a little bit.
Atticus is screaming his
definitely
ass off.
Definitely come on anytime you want. Fucking.
Dude, we gotta talk some more, Devin. I don't know if we're gonna let's cut this last part out maybe, but we gotta talk some more, bro. I love your energy, man, and you coming out of your shell, man. That's big.
Yeah, let me know. Just you got my number. If you guys want to, talk more stuff, more politics, do a different. It doesn't have to be military. I'm very knowledgeable about shit. I have a lot. I could do a whole thing on conspiracy theories if you want, because
that's what I'm saying. Dude, we got Libo Team 5 as a channel. I mean, like I've been trying to get other people to add shit to our channel. That's part of Libo Team 5.
Yeah, so
they're just not coming through, man.
Basically, if you think about it, Libo Team 5 is like the overreaching, and then we want little individual shows and shit on there. So the podcast just is the first show on there.
It's just the first show, but I got like other things I want to do, but like the way you speak so fucking quickly, and I can understand you. I might have to like.
I get excited. Sorry.
No.
I gotta get the information out there.
This is a compliment. I like the way you speak so quickly. Politics with Devin, real quick, and you just fucking unload on somebody, and they have to replay this video and register what they understand what you said the first time. Because I can understand you enough to make a connection with you the first time, and then you want to go back and look at shit. This is fucking. I fucking like your energy. Is all I'm saying, man. That's all.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell.
I'd be glad to help you guys in any way if you want me to help out, or be even on here when you do someone else. I'd love to fucking help out any way I can. This has actually been fun. Even though I told my wife, it's like, wow, I actually get to talk about my experiences I haven't talked about in fucking 12 years, to anybody except for my army buddies that've been there. But
And it gets
it's
old,
fun,
man.
It
gets
it's
old. Well, yeah. And
I was-
you're
it's-
sharing like your shit, and it's like it's weird because like my family watched this and they're like, dude, we're seeing you from. It's different.
Mhm.
We're seeing you from a completely different light. So
Well,
it is nice.
because we are alone, but the world can see what we're talking about.
And the world could suck our dicks.
But it's like, because if we were to do, say right now, if we were in an arena with people watching it, it would be weird. You would not want to say certain things, but you kind of forget that you're being recorded and that it's going to go out. And if you realize that you want anything cut, just let me know. But I probably won't do it because
I have nothing to hide.
Dude, I call our old first sergeant racist, and I said some stupid fucking shit. I'm not gonna say that shit more, but I didn't mean it.
Well, if that guy's listening,
I didn't fucking mean it.
You had your fucking chance, and you blew it. We invited you on here.
It wasn't a gopher trap, man. You could say, like, dude, what the fuck?
You call me a snake, I'll fucking bite you next time I see you.
Dude, I will literally, like,
jerk.
Fucking physically, dude.
You're a jerk.
I agree with Trevin, man. You like, seriously, that shitty leadership seriously ruined my fucking, like, I let it ruin me. I am not fucking playing the victim card anymore. It is over. Thank you, courtesy to the homies that came on this podcast. But I fucking, like, the shit I was trying to escape from the Marine Corps, the shitty leadership, like the guys that give in to the guys who are bitching. So our thing was hazing. Everybody's crying hazing. So the motherfuckers that went to our fucking leadership and started crying, they got their way. And I was like, surely, dude, it's not.
It's a bad precedent.
Real world. It's the motherfuckers who are crying to the boss that don't do their job. From my experience, I worked at Orgill. I could fucking name off a bunch of other places. They would go to our boss and they would cry. And I'm thinking, dude, he ain't gonna listen to them. I'm over here fucking doubling their production. They post our production. I'm like doubling most people's production. They're not gonna ignore my vacation time. No, we're going to give the shitbags a vacation time because you know why? He's coming up to my office and crying, and the company has a high turnover rate, and it looks bad if we fire people. So to keep these fucking pussies from fucking leaving, we're going to give them everything they fucking want and shit on the motherfuckers who do their job. And that's what I was trying to get away from the Marine Corps. But instead, I went to a shittier job.
Caldwell breathe?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
That's America now.
On that note,
go be a dad.
Go.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure and an honor.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Thank you for
it's
having
a serious fucking honor, dude.
Yeah, and like I said, anytime I'll let you know. I think we live pretty close to each other too. I live in Ceres.
I live in Manteca.
Yeah, we're like 2 towns away.
Yeah,
Dude,
you're right there. Fuck.
Don't you fucking feel bad about your energy, dude. It's a blessing to this earth, and people who ever say anything fucking negative are just haters.
Yeah, they hate us because they ain't us.
Oh yeah,
dude. Your way of perceiving the world and your guts are not wrong, man. I could tell you could perceive the world in a very 25 fucking dimensions, dude. You run with that shit.
Right. Joe, you clear?
I'm all clear, dog.
You clear, Devin?
All right, man.
I'm
all clear.
We're out.
All right, man.